Hello, Jade. Did you know that I've already gotten engaged and will be getting married to my man very soon? Make sure to celebrate for me, please, so that I don't feel too sad.
Wow! Congratulations, Eloise!
Thank you so much. Can you make sure to tell my older brother that I've gotten engaged as well? I want to make sure that he knows so that one day he doesn't come after me for not saying anything.
And you want me to tell him for you? This is something you're happy about, so you should tell him in person yourself, right?
But that guy is always so annoying, so I don't really want to talk to him about it. Ever since we both were young, he'd always be a jerk about anything I'd bring up. And so I'm sure that if I brought up my engagement, he'd start trying to tell me all sorts of things that I should be aware of when it comes to marriage.
You think so?
Yeah, telling me to make sure that I don't do anything to upset my fiancé, or telling me to become even more mature now that I'm going to be someone's wife. All that crap, you know? He's even more annoying than my own parents are. And that's saying something.
I think that he's just worried about you, Eloise. I don't think any of what he'd have to say would be done in spite. If anything, I think he's always trying to make sure his little sister will live life without any regrets.
Well, no matter what he tells me, I wouldn't really care. But I just don't want to listen to him go on, or else he'll kill my mood. That's why I'd like you to talk to him about me getting engaged, okay?
Alright, I'll let him know. Is your fiancé the man that's been working at the brokerage firm? He seemed like a pretty nice guy the last time you told me about him.
Hold on, who are you talking about? I broke up with that guy a while ago. Like years ago, actually.
Is that so? I guess the last time I spoke to you about your dating life was a long time ago, huh?
It was a very long time ago. That guy was maybe 5 guys ago or so. I totally didn't even remember who you were talking about for a second there.
You've had that many boyfriends since then? You really are an incredible girl, I guess.
I just wanted to try out all different types of men. If I don't have a chance to test around, I'll never be able to know what kind of man I'm willing to marry. But having them all around has made for some good backup in my reserves.
Backups?
Just in case anything happens. Wouldn't want to have a breakup or divorce without having someone to fall back on now, would I?
I hope that doesn't mean you're cheating at all right now, right?
Well, for a while, I had been dating around with a couple different guys at the same time. I had wanted to get married before I turned 30, so I had to speed things up by going out with so many men at once. And since most of those men didn't want marriage, I thought it'd be okay to at least keep dating while going out with new men. That way, I always felt like I had at least someone around in case I couldn't find a husband.
I guess you really have some strict standards then, huh?
Well, they have to have a good salary, and I want them to have a good enough job that we never have to worry about them losing it in the future. I also like to stick around and see if they plan to be a family man or not. Can't be marrying a man that doesn't like his wife and plans to have no kids. And lastly, whether the family they come from has money as well.
You even care about the money their family might have?
Well, if the family happens to be poor, then there's no meaning to the money that my future husband would have. They'd end up taking money away from him all the time, and him and I would become poor as well. I didn't want to help out the rest of his family with problems that aren't our own. I plan to buy a lot of things, and go overseas a lot, and if the family needs our money, my dreams will never come true.
I see. So, I suppose that the man you've got engaged with has passed all those standards?
That's right. He's a doctor at a university hospital nearby. And both of his parents are also doctors, and his dad happens to run a hospital and a few small clinics in the area. And his dad also has a lot of properties, meaning that his bank account must be stacked.
That's pretty amazing to hear. A very wealthy family then, huh? Must be nice knowing that they can take care of themselves then.
And my man's face is super handsome. It's narrow yet very well chiseled, and he has some very broad shoulders on him that I love to hold on to. He's the best man I could have even asked for, and so it's perfect that he's asked for my hand in marriage.
But there are other reasons why you chose him, right? Not just for his money or looks, right? What else do you love about him?
The only reason I love him is for his money.
But you're planning to marry him because you love him, right?
Well, I suppose so, yeah.
You suppose so?
I do love him a lot. He's an amazing man with a lot of success ahead of him. And when his parents eventually pass away, him and I will get a lot of money from them. That means we can use all of that money on anything we want. So I love him and his money, actually. I look forward to our future together.
That sort of seems a little bit suspicious, though.
But I'm being honest about the reasons I love him. Being married to him will eventually make me a celebrity myself. And I put a lot of effort into making a man like him fall in love with me.
Well, I guess that's all great to hear. So, tell me, how did you end up roping a man of his status in?
He was the hardest man for me to get. His family is very strict about things like being good people and helping others, and they passed that on to him. So I went ahead and did some volunteering and made myself look just perfect for him. And I only did that to impress him because I'd never volunteer for any other reason.
You went and volunteered somewhere?
I went to a rescue pound, and there I went and took care of a lot of dying dogs and such. They were all barking loud, and most of them smelled like poop. It was the worst.
I have to bring this up, but you don't seem like the kind of person to like volunteering, right?
Yeah, I freaking hate doing it. Working any job for free is the stupidest thing anyone could do to themselves. And so in the end, I had to quit helping at that place.
I see. I guess you do have the choice to quit volunteering whenever you'd like.
I just made some other people take over for me and left. But I did make an effort to volunteer, and so that was enough for me. Just being there to put a little time in is all that mattered in the end.
I see what you mean.
The most important thing is that I got him to respect me, and now he's mine.
So, I guess, when are you guys planning to have your wedding, if you're going to have one? You seem to have a lot of money to work with now, so I'm sure that the wedding is going to be gorgeous.
Oh, we'll make sure that this wedding is like something out of a princess movie. Right now, we're planning on having the wedding in a year. We were able to put in a reservation at a place that has an amazing view over the ocean.
So in another year then. I'm looking forward to it.
Having a whole year to prepare for it will make sure that we have everything in order and that the wedding goes perfectly for the two of us. And even he wants to make sure that this wedding goes as smooth as possible so that he can impress everyone. I really do have to make sure that this wedding shows everyone that I have truly succeeded.
That sounds like it will be a great time preparing for it.
Of course we will. And I'm hoping that most of this wedding won't cost my man and I much at all. We'll make sure that those attending gives us lots of money to make it happen. And don't forget that we'll be having an after party. Do you plan on coming, Jade?
I suppose I'll have to say no to that. I have a daughter of my own now, and she's young and needs to be cared for as well.
Are you sure? Well, at least having you all at the wedding will still make me happy. I hope you're really looking forward to this.
I'm sorry, Eloise. I don't think that we'll be able to make it to your wedding now.
What? Why not?
My daughter just got into an accident.
An accident?
As she was walking around this morning with me, she got hit by a bicyclist. Right now, we're on our way to the hospital with her.
Oh, come on now. She was only hit by a bike. There's nothing serious about that. I thought you meant she was run over by a semi or something more terrifying.
But she got hit in the head really hard. And at the moment, she still hasn't come back to reality fully. We're going to get her examined right now, so there's no time for us to come to her wedding today.
Hold on a minute, Jade. Are you seriously saying that you're going to cancel coming to my wedding after it took me a year to prepare it?
I'm very sorry, Eloise. Your brother and I were really looking forward to it. But with what just happened to her daughter, there's just no way we'll be able to make it in time.
Well, then go and drop her off at the hospital and you to come here. Just have the doctors fix her up while you're both here celebrating my perfect day.
There's no reason for me to leave my baby girl here while she's this hurt. Right now, my husband is calling your parents about this. Us not coming there isn't going to be a problem for your wedding, right? I mean, it shouldn't change anything for you.
But it really will, though. You guys have to be here to help out with the wedding.
What rules?
While everyone's being seated, I was going to have the two of you help guide people.
I never heard you ask that from us, though.
Why wouldn't you guys do that for me? I just wanted to make it a surprise for you both. I was going to have you guys do it like a performance so that everyone could enjoy the perfection. But now that you guys say you're not coming, I'm screwed. Don't you dare ruin my special day for me.
You have a good point. I really don't want to do that to you, but I'm sorry, Eloise.
If you want to apologize to me, then do it by coming here right now.
I cannot do that now. I'm far too worried about the state of my daughter.
Why would you guys do this to me? What made you all think it was a good idea to get into an accident?
I'm sorry, but the timing for this wasn't something we could control. I really do feel bad for ruining the mood for you right now.
Don't freaking say crap like that to me. God dang it. Just because of this, you're going to make me hate you. You think you're good parents that you took your eyes off of her. Now she's hurt because you couldn't do your dang job. If you can't take care of a simple girl, then maybe you shouldn't have any more kids.
Calm down a bit, Eloise. I understand that we may have to put a small dent in your plans, but us all not being there shouldn't end up ruining your whole wedding today, right?
Well, I'm the kind of person that wants everything to be perfect. I need everything to be perfect. So if things can't happen just the way I planned, then I'll never forgive whoever ruined them. Do you two really feel like it's the right choice to ruin the wedding that I spent a whole year preparing for?
Eloise, I'm asking you to please understand me. Right now is an emergency for our family. When something happens to our daughter that's this serious, we don't have the ability to abandon her.
I don't give a crap about what kind of situation you're all in.
What?
I'm the one that's put all my effort into this wedding, so you need to respect and celebrate me. Don't tell me you're going to turn me away for some little hurt girl. This is what happens when you don't take care of your little girl. So now just leave her at the hospital and come here.
The bicyclist wasn't paying any attention to the path and ran into her. My daughter is a victim in all of this.
The only victim right now is me. Not having my older brother and his wife come today is messed up big time. Don't you freaking dare cause me to become an embarrassment.
I'm not trying to embarrass you. I'm sure that if you explain all of this to your husband and his parents, they'd all understand our situation.
I don't want my in-laws to think I'm the kind of daughter-in-law that would allow an event to be ruined over some hurt little girl. I can't deal with this, Jade. You're going to ruin everything for me over some little idiot child. This is going to be the worst day of my life. You guys would have had her on a leash or something while walking around.
You stop saying things like that right now. I really do feel bad for what's happened, but I never remember it being okay for you to start talking like this about my family.
All I'm doing is telling you the truth, though. Canceling on the day of my wedding is the stupidest thing you guys could do to me.
Even my husband is becoming upset by you, Eloise.
And so what? The both of you are a bunch of losers.
Is your wedding really that important to you? Is it really more important than the life of a little child?
Even if by a little, it's still more important than her.
I can't believe this. Just understand that we are not coming today. So give up on trying to be a monster towards us.
The rehearsal for the wedding will begin in another hour. You're going to have to meet all of my husband's family, so hurry up and get over here.
What are you talking about? Did I not just tell you that we are not coming today?
And I said that your daughter being hurt has nothing to do with my wedding. It's that brat's fault in the first place for getting in an accident.
You're going to keep blaming my daughter for this? It's not her fault that the bicyclist was looking at his phone while riding and then hitting her.
Well, that brat deserved to get hit by a bike. Now leave her there and come to my wedding. She's not even awake right now, right? So you both don't even need to be there for her. And even if she were to pass away right now, I wouldn't forgive you for staying out of the wedding.
You really are being cruel right now. Which is wild because your husband is right next to us and he's put off by what you said.
My brother is your husband, right?
No, I'm talking about your husband right now, Eloise. Of course my husband is right next to me as well, but so is your husband.
What are you talking about? There's no way he'd be there with you guys. He was just here with me a little bit ago before he had to start doing my makeup.
Well, he was just asked to come in by the hospital.
They called him in? You're lying, right?
Can't say no when he's on call. And the hospital is only 15 minutes away from your guys' wedding by car.
Huh? We were just about to get things started here and you went back there?
I don't think you understand what's about to happen. Your husband just saw the text you've been sending to me about my daughter. You must have always faked being the nice girl in front of his face, right?
You're wrong. This is all a huge misunderstanding.
What about this is a misunderstanding? You're just going on about how us canceling our spot in the wedding due to our daughter getting hurt is unforgivable, right? You even told me that your wedding is more important than my daughter's life.
Well, that was just me saying random crap.
Right now, your husband is really shocked by all of this. He's the kind of man that sacrifices anything for others' lives. And so seeing you say the opposite about someone's life has really put him in a mood.
You're just trying to make me look bad. Who would think that I was being that mean to your daughter? You? My brother?
Right now's not the time to worry about what we think of you. You should be more worried about whether your husband is still going to go through with respecting you as his wife. In other words, I think you may have just pissed off your husband a lot.
But I put in so much effort to make sure that him and I are married and happy.
All I heard was you trying to volunteer for a bit, even though you hate volunteering. But in the end, you just ended up forcing your work onto others and going home.
Don't say that right now.
And we made sure to talk about why you only chose your husband for his money and his family's money. You said that when his parents passed away, you take their money and use it for whatever you both liked, correct? You said to me you looked forward to that the most.
Why are you saying all of that right now? I never said anything like that. Stop trying to make me look bad.
I'm not the one making you look bad, though. I have all those things right here in the text messages to show to your husband.
Stop trying to do all those useless things.
For a long time, I always thought you were in a pain in our butts. But I never planned on doing anything about it, and never was going to talk to your husband about you either. There's no reason for me to be telling him something you guys need to figure out. But today, you show me that you're a little too ungrateful and selfish. Your husband is going to start heading back to the wedding now. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens now.
Now everything's starting to fall apart. This is all because of you two, you know.
Blame us all you want, Eloise. But whatever has happened since your husband went back to you both, we have no clue about.
He has told everyone that he's canceling the wedding.
Well, that seems like a fair move by him. After learning about the real Eloise, he must have had a change of heart for you.
And that's because you both made me look bad in front of him.
You're the one that made yourself look bad in front of us. And since your husband came here to help us, we decided to help him out in return. We mentioned to him that if his wife has turned out to be this bad, life living together with her will only become worse.
What the hell were you both thinking? I had only just gotten close to everyone in his family, and now his parents are saying they no longer want to be near me.
Seems that his parents has learned about the real you as well, huh? But are you guys going to actually be able to cancel that wedding today?
Well, now we're going to have to because of you guys. I had asked his parents and mine if we could just go ahead with the wedding, but he won't let me have it now due to you guys.
Well, he has the right to ask for it to be over.
He said that if he has to marry a witch like me, his family's name will be stained. What does he mean by stained?
When he says he's strained, I think he means he's strained. Everything he knew about you turned out to be false, and he doesn't even know if you love him for the right reasons anymore. And when you look at it from his parents' point of view, they all see you as a threat to their family's legacy and wealth.
Who's a threat to their family's wealth? Everybody happens to lie a little to get a man to marry them, right? Him thinking that I've done anything wrong today is him being overdramatic.
True. Most people do tend to lie about few things at first when they like someone. But in your case, you lied about everything to him. I don't think you're going to be able to change the man you forced him to be now. So can you just give up?
Don't say that like it's been so easy for me too. I put all of my life into this wedding, so there's no way I'll give up on it.
Then maybe try forcing the wedding to go on. Your husband isn't into it anymore, so the whole time, it'll feel like hell in there. But if you like the feeling of everyone's disdain for you, then go right ahead and have that wedding. Yeah, I'm sure that a wedding like that will never actually work out.
Stop making fun of me!
I don't think this is a time for you to be making fun of everyone else by still trying to fight them on canceling the wedding. If you really wanted to hide the truth about the horrible person you really are, then you should have made sure to hide yourself from everyone. From there, Eloise tried her best to get her husband to understand her and have the wedding, but nothing changed his mind. Her husband ended up taking care of the wedding's cancellation fees, as well as make sure to make an apology to all those that attended. But he was able to get his way, and the wedding had officially been canceled. However, when he was apologizing to everyone that gave their time to be there, he wasted no time making sure to tell them all about the awful person that was Eloise, causing her to have to just stand there in huge embarrassment. This was something that was learned after all that had happened, but Eloise happened to have some major debt. It seemed that while she was searching for a perfect man, she had spent a lot of money, and I mean a lot of it. She spent it on going to get manicures, salons, plastic surgery, and much more to make herself the most standout woman for the man she was going after, and that cost her a pretty penny to do. I'm sure she did all that expecting the man she married to pay all the debt off for her in the end, but since things ended up the way they did, she's now stuck with a lot of debt to pay off and no money at all. When it comes to my daughter, she was able to wake up from her slight coma after the accident, and we were able to take her home. There was only a slight concussion, surprisingly, and so there was no damage done to her brain. Having her recover as well as she did has really been a relief to me. After everything, I've never heard anything from Eloise, and I haven't even seen her anymore. And that's the way I'd like things to be for the rest of our lives.
Kevin, you there? I really need to talk to you about something.
Huh? What is it, sis?
I just went to my mom's place. She was working her butt off, cleaning the house. She looked so tired.
So?
What do you mean, so? Surely you know that's no good. The main reason you and Carla moved in with her in the first place was because her legs are getting worse. You said you'd take care of everything around the house. Where are you both? What are you doing?
Watch it, Allie. Just because we moved in with Mom doesn't mean my wife has to do all the housework.
I'm not saying she has to do it all. But Mom's been cleaning the house, doing the laundry and preparing all the meals since this morning. I just took her to the supermarket because she said she had some shopping to do. Don't you think you guys might be relying on Mom a little too much?
Mom's doing all that stuff because she wants to. What would you have her do? Sit around doing nothing all day? That's when dementia starts creeping in, you know that?
Still, does that justify leaving absolutely everything to her? What's wrong with splitting the responsibilities?
Now you listen, and you listen good, Allie. You need to remember that me and Carla are the ones who live with Mom, not you. I don't need to hear you preaching at me. You lost the right to an opinion when you moved out.
I have the right to an opinion as her daughter. Mom was never particularly enthusiastic about the idea of you two moving in with her in the first place. The only reason you did is because you practically forced your way in on the pretext you'd take care of everything around the house. Don't you think you're failing to live up to your promise if Mom's rushing around like a headless chicken trying to keep on top of it all?
Today's an exception. We do it most of the time.
You say that, but it was just like this the last time I visited too. Besides, it's Independence Day today, so I know neither of you are at work. Even if Carla's not around, what reason do you have for not helping out around the house? There's no way Mom should be as rushed off her feet as she is right now.
God, you're annoying. If I can't do what I want on Independence Day, when can I?
I wouldn't mind if it really was just today, but it's not, is it? If you're gonna treat Mom like your live-in maid, then she should move in with me instead.
Huh? Why should you get to have her? I'm the eldest son, which means it's my responsibility to look after her.
If you actually lived up to your responsibilities, I wouldn't have to intervene. Besides, I don't think you being the eldest son has anything to do with it.
You moved out when you got married. You have your own place now. How the hell is mom gonna live with you? What would your husband think? I bet his family would be angry too.
Interesting. You're suddenly an expert on my husband and his family, are you? It just so happens that my husband said he'd be fine with her moving in. And his family aren't the kind of people to get angry over something so trivial.
I think I get it now. Are you after the house?
Excuse me?
Bullseye. I remember you telling me you and your husband are renting. I get it now. You want to get your grubby mitts on this house.
Why would you even say that? I have no interest in the house. Me and my husband are fine as we are. Besides, it seems like Mom wants to sell it.
Sell it? No way. Maybe before me and Carla moved in. She'd never sell it with us living here. We'd be homeless. This house has been in the family for generations. It's better for us that we live somewhere full of good memories that we're all familiar with. Anyway, what makes you think Mom wants to sell it? Did she say something?
Well, it's not that she said anything.
Quit making baseless assumptions and sticking your nose into our business then.
You think I like getting involved in your crap, Kevin? There was no way I couldn't say anything after seeing how rushed off her feet Mom was earlier. She's too nice to say anything or complain about it, but I could tell she was stressed out. This is the last thing she needs on top of seeing her surgeon and physiotherapist every week. Would it really hurt to pull your finger out and do a little bit more?
How many times do I gotta tell you? We're already helping. Quit getting all high and mighty about stuff you have no idea about. I know how to be nice to my mom without having you preach to me.
Are you really being nice to her though? Are you, Kevin? Because from what I heard, you still haven't contributed a single cent to the household expenses since you moved in. Mom's been bearing the entire burden of having you guys live with her.
Me and Carla have our own expenses to think about. It costs money to look after Mom. Why should we have to cover the household expenses on top of that?
Jesus, Kevin, you're putting in the absolute bare minimum. Would it hurt so much to pay your way?
If Mom had a problem with it, she'd tell us. We're all just fine. Mom's a grown woman, and she doesn't need Little Miss Perfect preaching at me on her behalf. I don't need to hear this crap from you, so just give it a rest already. I'm busy, so quit your whining and leave me alone.
Kevin, where's Mom?
Huh? Mom? Why'd you ask?
When I went to the house just now, your wife told me Mom is gone and she's never coming back.
Carla told you then?
What the hell is going on?
We broke things off with Mom this morning.
You did what? How'd you do that? What does breaking things off even mean?
Me and Carla got sick and tired of looking after her. Do we look like staff at an old folks' home?
You're the ones who moved in with her on the condition you do precisely that. What the hell are you playing at? Besides, she was the one who was helping you out by letting you stay there at all. You would have had nowhere to go if not for Mom's kindness.
Nope, this is all Mom's fault. She refused to give us any more money. I lost my shit, took her bank card, and told her to get the hell out.
You did what? What the hell's gone into you, Kevin? This is an unacceptable way to treat your mother. You need to fix this, now. Call her and say you're sorry.
It's cool. She doesn't have any money, so she'll have to come back soon. Oh, actually, scratch that. I told her never to come back or contact us ever again. Oops, what should I do, LOL?
This is no laughing matter. I keep trying to call Mom, but she won't pick up. She could be anywhere by now.
Jeez, Allie. She's a grown woman, not a little kid. Chill out, would ya?
If I'd have known this was gonna happen, I'd have dragged her to my place by force. Why didn't you tell me as soon as you'd kicked her out? Did you forget I said I'd take her in?
You're nothing but a pain in my ass when you get involved in things. I like to keep my engagement with you to a bare minimum. Think about it. All you do is try and paint me and Carla as villains. Why would we want anything to do with you? You're bad news. I really wish my annoying pain-in-the-ass sister was here sticking her nose into my business and criticizing me right now. Said no one ever. Basically, you need to keep your meddling ass away from us. As far away from this house as humanly possible. Carla said just the sight of your face alone is enough to stress her out. So for both our sakes, stay the hell away. Okay? Great.
How can I not get involved when you act the way you do?
You know what? I'm on a mission to cut all the toxic people out of my life. And you're next in line. With Mom gone, the house belongs to me now. There's no reason for me to carry on any kind of relationship with you.
Wow, Kevin. You're not worried about Mom in the slightest.
Didn't I tell you to give it a rest? She can take care of herself. Well, I guess this is it. Thanks for being such a meddling busybody all the time. It's been a real pleasure. Not. We're strangers now, so if you come anywhere near us or the house, I'll consider myself to be in self-defense situation and call the cops.
Hello there, Allie dear. How are you? Oh, I'm terribly sorry I missed your calls. I haven't checked my phone all day.
Mom? Where are you right now?
Allie, I want you to know that I'm fine. Please, calm down, dear. I take it you've heard from Kevin that I left the house.
Yes, when I went over earlier, Carla told me you were gone. Then when I messaged Kevin, he said they broke off all ties with you and that you'd left the house and were never coming back.
I wonder where I went wrong with that boy for him to end up this way. I thought I raised you both with the same amount of love, care, and affection.
Why did you give my brother the house and all of your savings? You let him and his wife get away with everything. If anyone was gonna pack their things and leave, it should have been him and Carla, not you. This is all backwards.
Don't worry, dear. Those idiots don't have a clue what's about to happen. Something tells me the situation will have taken care of itself before long.
Huh? What does that mean? Didn't he take your bank cards and put his name on the deed to the house?
Don't be silly, dear. He didn't change the name on the deed. It's still very much my house. Nothing has changed in that regard.
Really? But he did steal your bank cards, right?
He might have stolen some cards, but none of them have anything to do with my bank. Allie, he has my library and gym cards.
Huh? Your library and gym cards?
I had them both stashed away in my little credit card holder. Which is why someone taking them without checking properly might be forgiven for thinking they had access to my savings. Him and Carla are in for a nasty little surprise when they try taking any money out of those things.
So you mean the cards he took are completely useless to him and he has no way of accessing your money?
Exactly. Not only that, but my gym membership ran out last month, and I get a new library card printed as soon as I go there next. So, even they'll be useless to them. They're in for a surprise of a lifetime when they get to the bank.
Wow, I see. But still, what about the house? Even if the name on the deed is still yours, you still left, and now they have no place to themselves. Doesn't that technically make you homeless now? Wanna come to my place? My husband's more than happy to have you here, and of course I am.
You and your husband are so sweet, dear. I'm lucky to have you both.
Well, you could have lived with us from the get-go, remember? But you said you didn't want to inconvenience us and turned down the offer. I know the idea might make you a little uncomfortable, but I promise you we don't mind at all. In fact, we'd be happy to have you. In any case, anything's gotta be better than living with my brother and his wife. Me and my husband actually do things around the house, so you'll be able to relax and put your feet up for once. Won't you at least think about it?
You're so thoughtful, dear. Thank you. In that case, there is something I'd like to ask you. Would you let me stay with you? At least until I find an old folks' home to stay in.
Of course. There's nothing I'd like more. We'd love to have you.
And how would you feel about moving someplace else?
Like moving house? Now that you mention it, our place is a little on the cramped side. But we still have a spare bedroom. Sure, we might bump into each other in the kitchen every now and then, but I don't think it'd be that bad.
Listen, sweetie. Thing is, I've been thinking of buying an apartment. I was thinking of getting a place me, you, and Paul could live in together. What do you say?
Allie, where's Mom?
What do you want?
Answer my question. If you know where Mom is, you need to hurry up and tell me.
Why?
It's the cards I took from her. I thought they were bank cards, but they're not. These things are useless to me. Turns out it's our freaking gym and library cards. Plus, I'm trying to get the name on the deed to the house changed to mine. But I need Mom's identity verification documents.
Huh. Serves you right for taking them without her permission.
If I just knew where Mom was, all my problems would be solved instantly. So if you know where she is, hurry up and tell me. I know you two are still in contact.
Mom's never going back to the house.
I see. So that must mean she's at your place?
Nope.
Yeah, I know you know where she is. Stop playing games and tell me. I'm sat out front on your lawn, and I'm not moving until you come out and tell me where she is.
Do as you please. It's not my problem. I'll just call the police.
The police? You'd call the police on your own brother?
You're the one who said you were breaking off all ties with me. I think of you as a stranger now, just like you told me to.
Allie, you should know the real reason I kicked Mom out. I did it for you.
For me?
Let's face it, she's not getting any younger, and her legs are only going to get worse from here on out. Eventually, she won't be able to walk at all, and she'll need round-the-clock care. But me and you have our own lives to live. We don't have the time or money to afford to be carers 24/7. What use to us is some old-age pensioner who can't even walk? She'd be nothing but a burden. So I did what I had to do before it got to that point. For our futures.
You've got some nerve to speak like that about the woman who gave birth to you and raised you. She'd go to the ends of the earth for you, and this is how you repay her? I could never do that to her. From where I'm standing, it looked like the only reason you kicked her out was to get your hands on her savings and the house. Which part of that had anything to do with me? You did it all for yourselves. You're only saying this now because it backfired and you want me to help you. I'm sure if I did, you wouldn't hesitate to stab me in the back the moment I'd served my purpose, because that's the kind of person you are.
Just tell me where Mom is.
Like I told you, I'm not telling you anything.
Allie, please. Listen, you should know that me and Carla had our reasons for kicking Mom out. Legitimate reasons.
There's no legitimate reason for kicking your mother out of her own house.
I'm in debt.
I see.
That's why I need money. I need to talk to Mom. I kept it as a secret until now, but I'm gonna tell her everything. Then, hopefully she'll be willing to help out. I need money. Bad. That's why I need to talk to her. Help me out. Sis. Please.
Here's a message from Mom. You kicked me out of my house. You're not my problem anymore.
Aha! I knew it! So you are with her. Busted!
It doesn't change anything. You're wasting your time if you really are sat on our lawn. We're moving houses together today.
Where to? Tell me right now. I'll be there ASAP.
You must be kidding. You're the last person I'd tell. You tried stealing Mom's bank cards so you could raid our savings and kicked her out of her own house. Are you even aware of what a piece of crap you are? None of us would lose a moment's sleep if we never saw you again.
I told you, Allie. Please, you have to believe me. I'm in debt. I had no choice.
Stop lying. You and that gold-digging wife of yours just wanted her house and money all to yourselves. To think she's so kind, she even let you live with her despite the fact you pretty much forced your way in. Maybe if you'd have been upfront with her from the get-go, she would have lent you some money. But now, after everything you did, you must be stupid if you think she'd give you anything.
I'll never do anything like that to her again. I swear. I'll be the best son she could ever hope for. I'll get Carla to do all the housework. Please, just tell Mom I want her to come home now. I'll even get Carla to cook her some lunch.
You think lunch is gonna get you out of this? No matter what you say, it's not happening. Anyway, we're all gonna be living together in our brand new apartment soon.
What? You mean with you and your husband? Why do you get to have Mom?
First of all, we don't get to have her because she's a human being and not a piece of property. Secondly, what the hell does it have to do with you? You cut us all out of your lives.
I was only joking. As if I'd say that for real.
Right, of course you were, Kevin. In any case, we don't want anything to do with you either. As for the house you and Carla are living in, you know, the one that doesn't belong to you, Mom just put it up for sale.
She did what?
You weren't able to change the name on the deed in the end, were you? Me and Paul took Mom to the realtors the other day and helped her with the sale procedures. It's up on the market now, and we're already in talks with a few prospective buyers. You need to be out by next month.
What are you talking about? We live here!
So what? It's not your house. When the owner says you get out, you get out.
Is this a bluff? It must be. If it's up on the market, why hasn't anyone been over to appraise it? Busted!
She had it appraised ages ago. This isn't something she just decided to do on a whim, you know. She's been thinking of selling it for a long time now. She had someone over to appraise it when you and Carla were out for a day.
Fine. If we have to leave, give us the money for a new place. Surely that's the least you can do.
You must be joking. Why would you give you any money when you forced your way in there in the first place? None of us, and especially not Mom, have any responsibility to look after you or your wife. You made your bed, now lie in it. Maybe things would be different if you'd actually done anything for her, you know, like helped out around the house like you promised to. But you didn't, did you? It's always nothing but take with you.
God damn it! I need to see Mom. Let me apologize to her.
She never wants to see you again.
Oh man, I really screwed up, didn't I? Can you tell her I'm really sorry? I'm filled with nothing but regret, shame, and disgust with myself. Carla too. Mom deserved better. I'm sorry. We took advantage of her.
I'm glad you finally admit it. But it's too late now. Too little, too late. You're only nice to us when you want something. The rest of the time, you're as vile and unpleasant as could be. That goes for your wife, too. You in the right mind would want anything to do with people like you.
Damn it, I really screwed up. I'm begging you, Allie. Help me out here, sis. I'm never gonna be able to pay off my debts at this rate. and we sure as hell can't afford to move house.
You have another month before you have to be out. I'm sure you'll be able to figure something out between yourselves. If you're so desperate for cash, why doesn't Carla find a job?
How can she find a job when she can't even do housework?
Oh, that's strange. I could have sworn you just said Carla would do all the housework if Mom came back. That was a lie too, huh? What a surprise. You can stop messaging me now.
Allie, please. Don't be so cold. We are in serious trouble here. I owe you an apology too, sis. If Mom never wants to see me again, won't you at least help me? Anything will do. It doesn't matter how small. Please?
You said it yourself, Kevin. Me and you are strangers now. You've got some nerve to come begging for help when you're the one who told me to stay away from you. You said we were strangers and threatened to call the cops on me if I ever came anywhere near you. All I'm doing is following your orders. We're not family anymore, so there's nothing you can say to change my mind. Goodbye. Kevin and his wife showed up at mine and my husband's house after that, but the door was firmly locked, and we made sure it stayed that way. They soon disappeared when we threatened to call the cops. Then, after biding our time until the terrible two weren't around, we called the removal company and moved in with Mom in her new apartment at lightning speed. Of course, we blocked Kevin and Carla so they could never bother us again, and thankfully, we haven't heard from them since. The real estate company we sold the house with happened to be owned by a friend of my mom's. When he sent one of his guys over to check on the place, it turned out Kevin and Carla had left before their period of notice. There were some things left behind, such as my mom's belongings and the household appliances. We hired a handyman to promptly deal with them so we could go ahead with the sale ASAP. A few months after selling the house, I got a message from my cousin saying he saw my brother in the rough part of town. Gaunt and emaciated, Kevin had been seen going into a brothel for male prostitutes. My cousin was just passing by in the car, but when he and Kevin locked eyes, he ran over and started banging on the window begging for money. When my cousin rolled the window down, Kevin told him about how Claire had fallen ill and was in the hospital, and between the medical bills and debt repayments, he now had no choice but to work day and night and hadn't had a day off in months. Normally, you'd want to help your family out if they fell on hard times like this. But this is Kevin we're talking about, and he isn't normal, nor do we consider him family anymore. Needless to say, neither me or my mom have any ounce of sympathy for him. There's no doubt about it, their lives are a train wreck. But that's not our problem, because it's all their fault. Me and Paul are currently enjoying our new lives together, living with my mom in the fancy new apartment she bought. I feel blessed to have the opportunity to live with my mom again. She really is the loveliest, warmest, kindest person I've ever met. I'm super grateful to Paul too. Not every husband would agree so readily to living with their mother-in-law, but he's been amazing from start to finish. Me and him are gonna make up for all the suffering my brother caused her by making her feel as happy and loved as we possibly can. My mom's no spring chicken, and I don't know exactly how long we have left together, but one thing's for sure, I plan on making the most of every day as if it's our last. Let's make some amazing memories. Here's to the future. Let's hope it's a long one. Hey Kayla, long time no speak. My New Year's gift arrived.
Hey, Rachel. No kidding, it's been ages. My present came? That's great. I'm pleased it came before the new year.
Cutting it a bit fine, aren't we? You really are a disorganized sloth of a woman.
Sorry. Work always gets crazy towards the end of the year. I barely even get time to think these days.
You don't have to mince your words with me, dear. I know that's just code speak for my mother-in-law is low on my list of priorities. It's okay, I'm only the mother of your husband. Why should you make any effort for me? Tell me, Kayla, do you really think you could afford to be this slovenly when you have a little girl in elementary school to think about?
I can't claim to be perfect, but I'm doing my best in my own way.
You say that, but you rely on my son for practically everything. Don't get carried away just because you make a lot of money. You probably thought you could keep me quiet by buying me an expensive New Year's gift. Luxury steaks? I mean, really? Who buys anyone luxury steaks for New Year's? You put a real damper on my mood with that junk. You know, what disappoints me the most is that you clearly didn't put any thought into my present at all.
You don't like them? But Todd told me you love steak, and they're some of the best money you can buy. I thought you'd be pleased. Are they really that bad?
I suppose I'll eat them because they're free, but once they're gone, they're gone. What's the sentimental value in that? Next time, make sure you send me something I can keep, or even better, something I actually want.
I can do that. What do you want? It'd be cool if you gave me a few examples for future reference.
Let me think. What do I want? I saw this massage chair on the shopping channel the other day that looked amazing. You can probably afford it since you work so many hours you've almost completely sacrificed anything resembling a family life.
I haven't sacrificed my family life. And please, I think a massage chair is a little excessive for a New Year's gift.
It was just an example. Can't an old dear even fantasize about a luxury massage chair these days without being shot down? Goodness me, why does everything have to be so serious with you? You're so dry, you have the same sense of humor as a bag of turnips.
Sorry.
Anyway, what will you be doing for New Year's? Are you coming here?
Yeah, me and Todd were thinking of stopping by with Elsa. What do you think?
Do as you please. I can't guarantee you'll have anywhere to sit, though. You see, my daughter's coming with her whole family. On top of you, Todd, and Elsa, I can see things getting cramped. We hardly have the biggest living room.
Oh, I see. Well, in that case, don't sweat it. I don't want to make things difficult for you, so I'll give it a miss this time. I know how stressful it can be hosting that many people, so if me not being there for you lightens the burden, then I don't mind not coming.
Really? Are you sure? I feel terrible. You're going to spend New Year's all on your lonesome like that loser in the corner of the classroom who no one wants to speak to. Just kidding, darling. Now that you mention it, I do think things are better this way. After all, New Year's is a time for family. You should stay out of our way and relax at home instead. You must be tired from work. I'm sure you could use the rest.
You're not wrong. Okay, well, it's settled then. Todd and Elsa will come to the celebrations without me, and I'll put my feet up on the sofa with a good book and a hot chocolate.
Excellent. It's been so long since we had the whole family together. I'll have to pull out all the stops and make it one to remember. Oh, we're going to have such a good time, I can hardly wait. Oh, just because you're not coming doesn't mean my Todd gets out of getting his mother a gift. Make sure he brings me something nice, okay, dear? We wouldn't want to set a bad example in front of little Elsa now, would we? She needs to understand the importance of respecting her elders.
Of course, I'll get some of your favorite candy ready for them to bring.
Make it quick. Everything shuts early on New Year's Eve, and everything's shut down on New Year's Day, so there's no time to waste. I want an extravagant selection of my favorite handmade chocolates fit for a queen.
Happy New Year, Rachel!
How disappointing. It's already January 2nd. You're a day late, but Happy New Year, I suppose.
Sure, but it's still early days.
Kayla, you are my daughter-in-law and my son's wife. You have a duty to pay me the proper respects by wishing me Happy New Year's on New Year's Day like a decent human being. Oh, what am I saying? How can I expect the likes of you to understand basic common sense? My time would be spent more productively speaking to a brick wall. Anyway, what do you want?
It's about Elsa's gift, or rather her lack of one. Why did you get presents for everyone except her?
Goodness gracious me, are you and my drama queen of a son still upset over that? I don't remember there being any law that says you have to get your granddaughter a New Year's gift. Besides, why should I have to spend my hard-earned money on a present for your brat? Wait a second. No way, did you want it for yourself? I bet you planned on confiscating it from her when you got home, didn't you? My God, you're petty.
Come on, Rachel, as if I'd want my daughter's gift for myself. We just don't like the idea of playing favorites and treating the girls unequally. You got Harriet a present, so why not Elsa? Not only that, but you gave Harriet hers right in front of her. How do you think that made her feel? Elsa thought she'd be getting something.
Not my problem. It's her own fault for expecting freebies and yours for raising her into an entitled little diva.
Jesus, Rachel, what the hell? My daughter is not entitled. What you did was horrible. Even if you didn't want to get her anything, did you really have to give Harriet her present right in front of her eyes? You could have at least waited and done it when she wasn't looking. Or given it to Fiona so she could have given it to her after they got home.
You ignored my question, so allow me to repeat myself. Ahem. Why should I have to spend my hard-earned money on a present for your brat? And for that matter, why should I care if she's shocked or upset? You know, I find it despicable that she thinks she can just waltz into my house and have me shower her with gifts.
So, if I'm understanding this right, it seems like you're saying you didn't get her anything because she's my daughter.
Goodness me, could it be? Is there a brain in that head of yours after all? Well done, Einstein. This is what you get for willfully disobeying me all the time. How many times have I told you to quit your job now? It's time you learned the meaning of respect. You clearly have no conception of the meaning of compromise.
Rachel, it's painfully obvious you hate me, and that's fine. But I'd appreciate it if you weren't mean to Elsa. She's your son's daughter too, you know? Me and Elsa are different people, and I'd prefer it if you just forgot I existed when it came to dealing with her.
Sure, she might be half related to my son, but unfortunately for her, she's also half related to you. She's your spitting image. I can't think of a single positive thing to say about her that goes for both her personality and her looks. My Fiona's daughter is at least 1,000,000 times cuter than yours. I don't need any more grandchildren as long as I have Harriet.
Wow, I see. So what you're saying is that you have absolutely no intention of treating the two of them equally.
You say it like it's a bad thing. I have the freedom to like and dislike whatever and whoever the hell I please.
Sure, I can't deny that. Okay, understood. That's all I have to say on the matter.
I'm glad you finally see things my way. I'm impressed. I didn't think you had the intellectual capacity. You and your brat really are a royal pain in my backside. You should have seen it. It was embarrassing to watch. The moment Elsa realized she wasn't getting a present, she started tugging at her dad's shirt. Where's mine, Daddy? Did I do something wrong? Then eventually she got so upset she started crying and threw a tantrum in the middle of the living room for the whole family to see. She clearly inherited your low IQ and mental instability.
Maybe she did.
Oh no, you're not upset with me now, are you? I hope you'll stop corrupting her with your poisonous influence from now on, but something tells me that's not going to happen. Hey, Kayla, answer me.
What do you want?
You bought your parents a 2-family house?
Sure, I did. Why?
Todd's my eldest son. Where's mine? Why are you moving in with your parents? It's me you should be living with. Why are you having a 2-family house built for you and your parents to live in? It's not fair. Who's going to look after me? I'm no spring chicken anymore, you know.
Don't know, don't care. Our only priority is looking after my parents. Deal with it.
What did you just say? Are you forgetting that Todd's my eldest son?
I didn't forget anything. He's the one who said he wanted us to move in with my parents. I'm their only child, and they don't have anyone else to look after them.
What does that have to do with anything? You married my son, which means you belong to our family now. In spite of that, you have the nerve to treat me like a stranger and prioritize your own parents over me? You have this backwards.
This is unreal. You say I belong to your family, but you don't even acknowledge me as part of the family. You ignore my daughter and treat her like crap. You play favorites with her and Harriet and make sure she knows how much you don't like her. You said you could never love her for as long as you live because I'm her mother. Why in God's name would I want to have a house built for someone like that and move in with you? You're insane.
Because I'm your husband's mother, you little witch. You should show me the proper respect.
You think you deserve respect just because you happen to be Todd's mom. You couldn't be any more tragically deluded if you tried. You know, you clearly don't know Todd very well. He said he doesn't even see you as family, let alone his mother. As far as he's concerned, he doesn't have a mother. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't have a mother-in-law. You have no idea how hard I worked to try and win your approval. I was determined to make you see how committed I am to making Todd happy, but my efforts were for nothing. I realized all I was doing was stressing myself out and making life harder than it needed to be, so I'm done trying now.
The only reason I didn't acknowledge you is because you weren't trying hard enough. You don't know the meaning of hard work. Don't blame your failures on me.
I don't care if you don't like me. I'm a grown woman. I can take it. But I'll never forgive you for bullying my daughter. Seriously, is there a mother on this planet who turned a blind eye to their daughter being victimized like that? Who do you think you are comparing her to other kids and playing favorites like you did? Do you have any idea how you upset her? Things like that can stay with children for life, and now I have to undo the damage. Even if you did feel that way about her, why did you have to go out of your way to make sure she knew about it? Some things are better left unsaid.
Why, you little... You really are the cockiest, most disrespectful little shit I've ever met.
Thanks, Rachel. You're so charming. Call me what you like. Why would I care about the opinions of someone who hates me? You're hardly my favorite person in the world either.
Aha! And there we have it. Your true colors. How much of a fool do you have to make of me before you're satisfied? I know where I stand now. Fine, have it your way. I'm cutting you and your wretched family out of my life for good. Fiona and her family are all I need. My daughter would never, ever speak to me like you just did. She knows the meaning of respect.
Phew, what a relief. We don't want anything to do with you either, so we couldn't be more pleased to hear you say that.
My son made the mistake of his life when he put a ring on your finger. It's obvious Elsa's going to grow up emotionally stunted because she doesn't get the love she needs at home with you and Todd working such long hours. You should be arrested for neglect. You'll regret not listening to me one day, and when you do, I won't be around to help you. Yep, it's time for you to disappear from my life. God, it feels good to say that. Kayla, I need to talk to you.
Rachel, why are you messaging me? I told you to delete my number.
Surely you can spare me a few minutes? It's about Todd. I'm worried about him.
Why would you be worried about Todd?
Because he's living with you and your parents. I can't think of a more embarrassing, shameful existence. Is he okay?
It's a two-family house, so you can hardly call it living together in the way it's usually meant. We have our own kitchens, living rooms, bedrooms, everything. We even have separate front doors. We're more like neighbors. My parents value their privacy. Believe me, we all have plenty of space to ourselves. To be honest, other than being in a new house, our lives are barely any different to before.
Really? By the way, do you know what day it is today, dear?
I wonder. Go on, tell me.
It's my birthday.
It is? Oh yeah, now that you mention it, it is.
Is that it?
Yep.
My present hasn't arrived. Is there a problem with the delivery?
What present?
My birthday present? This is your mother-in-law's birthday we're talking about here, the most important day of the year. You usually send me a present every year. Why not this year?
Forgive me if this sounds rude, Rachel, but do you have dementia?
Excuse me? I can assure you I still have every last one of my marbles. How dare you be so disrespectful? Back in my day, you would have gotten the belt for this.
It's just that you seem to have totally forgotten what happened last month. We cut you out of our lives. Why are you coming at me with all this crap about a birthday present all of a sudden?
Because I'm your mother-in-law. I gave birth to your husband.
But we told you never to speak to us again. Do you struggle to comprehend basic English?
Of course not, you cheeky little cretin. Just because I cut you out of my life doesn't mean you don't have an obligation to fulfill your duties to me. I can't believe you didn't even send me a birthday present. Have you no sense of basic kindness? Did no one ever teach you to respect your elders?
I'm worrying that you think you deserve respect just because you happen to be old. Did no one ever teach you that what goes around comes around? If you want to be respected, how about you become someone worthy of respect? If you want people to be kind to you, how about you start being kind to others? It's really not rocket science. Bye. Never message me again.
Hold your horses. I'm not done speaking to you yet. Did you and Todd do something? Fiona and her husband stopped coming to see me. We usually celebrate my birthday together, but I haven't heard a peep out of them this year.
I'm sure they have their reasons.
Reasons? What's that supposed to mean?
Fiona told me you were pressuring her and her husband to move in with you so they could be your full-time carers.
So what if I did? I've been giving her and Harriet preferential treatment for longer than I can remember. The least they could do is move in with me in return. What's wrong with that?
Fiona never asked for preferential treatment.
Huh?
You know, Fiona's so nice it's hard to believe she's your daughter. Remember back when you used to make fun of me in front of everyone? Or when you got Harriet a New Year's gift but not Elsa? She sent me apology messages every time. She felt awful about the way you treated me. Not that she had anything to apologize for, but I appreciated the sentiment.
You're right. Why would my daughter apologize to you?
Probably because she's a decent human being. It's not that hard to imagine she'd feel bad seeing her own mom treat me so despicably. You know, she even warned me about you when me and Todd got married. I'm grateful, because I think your bullying would have stressed me out a lot more if I didn't have prior warning about you being rotten to the core. She even told you to back off and leave me alone, didn't she? She gave up when you ignored her every time, but it meant a lot to me that she tried. She apologized every time you said or did something horrible to me.
I didn't think I was doing anything wrong.
You can't actually mean that. I think you did it precisely because you wanted to hurt me. We're at wit's ends. We're at our wit's end with you, Rachel. All of us. Me, Todd, Elsa, Fiona, her husband Harriet. We're done.
You're done? What does that mean?
It means we're done being your family. Me and Todd already told you we never wanted to see or hear from you again. But it seems like you're pressuring Fiona and her husband to move in with you was the straw that broke the camel's back. And now they feel the exact same way.
But who's going to look after me if they don't move in with me?
Don't know, don't care. How many times do I have to tell you that's not our problem? Whoever ends up with the misfortune of looking after you, one thing's for sure, it's not going to be us.
No, why? Why are you doing this? My husband's gone, and now I'm all on my own in this house. How could my own children abandon me like this? I raised Todd and Fiona to be good, respectable adults, and this is how they repay me? I'm their mother. They should treat me with love and care, not like this. Oh my god. I feel like I've been stabbed in the back.
If you want to be treated with love and care, I suggest you start acting like someone who deserves it. There's no such thing as a free lunch. You treated me like crap ever since we met, and my daughter since the moment she was born. You made sure I was the only one who never got any food whenever we came over for family dinners. You treated me like I didn't exist. But you know what? I honestly couldn't care less about that. I always kind of understood why you were like that. I knew how much it bothered you that I always ignored your warnings when you told me to quit my job to be a full-time stay-at-home housewife for Todd.
Right, that's it. The only reason I did those things was to teach you a lesson. What was I supposed to do when you ignored everything I said?
But that doesn't justify what you did to my daughter. Elsa is innocent. You were awful to her. She came home in tears every time we went over to your house. She's in elementary school, for crying out loud. She hasn't forgotten the way you treated her. How many times you made her cry. All the awful things you said to her. You may as well be the devil as far as she's concerned. That's the real reason we want you out of our lives.
Listen, Kayla, the whole thing with the New Year's gifts was wrong of me, and I shouldn't have done that. I admit it, I went too far.
Your apologies are meaningless now. It's too little too late.
The only reason I was a little hard on you sometimes is because I didn't think you and Todd working all the time would be good for Elsa. In my mind, I was trying to help. I mean, think about it. It can't be good for a little girl to be away from her parents as much as she is. I was so worried she'd grow up emotionally stunted that I said and did things without thinking about the consequences. No matter what you say, you are still my daughter-in-law, you know. You have a duty to look after me.
You still don't seem to understand the gravity of your situation, Rachel. You're in no position to give me orders. Because you're not my family anymore. Or rather, you never were. You're the one who constantly refused to acknowledge me, who threw my efforts to win your acceptance back in my face at every opportunity, remember?
That's just not true, dear. I do accept you. I accept you as my daughter-in-law and a member of this family. There, that's what you wanted, isn't it?
Sure, wanted. Past tense. You need to understand that being your daughter-in-law doesn't make me your slave, and it doesn't mean I lose any right to my own decisions or opinions. Other than not quitting my job, I did pretty much everything you asked me to. Want to know why? Out of respect for you as my husband's mom. But Todd hates you now. He said you're not his mom anymore, and he never wants to see you again. Which means I have absolutely no reason to carry on tolerating you.
Oh my God, Kayla, please. I'm so sorry for everything. I want you to understand something. A part of me felt like my beloved son was being stolen away from me, and I think that might be why I lashed out. Won't you prove you're not trying to steal him by bringing him and Elsa over to see me? I'd love to have you all over. How about I cook us a nice roast? I admit what I did was wrong. Let me apologize to you all in person.
Like I said, too little, too late. You had ample opportunity to make things right, but all you did was double down on the bullshit. What you did to Elsa doesn't go away with an apology. I'll never forgive you for how you made my daughter feel.
But I'm truly sorry, Kayla. Can't you see how serious I am? I've done some soul-searching, and I feel terrible about the way I behaved. Won't you please consider my feelings for a moment? Surely you don't really intend to leave your aged mother-in-law all on her own? You're just trying to give me a fright so I can change my ways, right? Well, it worked. You can stop now. I'll change, I swear.
You only have yourself to blame for being on your own. It's funny, you told me I end up regretting my attitude towards you, but the only one filled with regret is you. The universe has a funny way of correcting things. Me and Todd couldn't be happier together without you. Yep, it's time for you to disappear from our lives. God, it feels good to say that. With that being my mother-in-law's new life of loneliness, isolation, despair, Fiona and her husband declared a severing of ties at the same time we did. So it's no exaggeration to say Rachel literally doesn't have a single person left in the world to rely on. Later on, she told me the only reason she tolerated her mom's shenanigans for so long was because she felt an obligation towards her as her daughter, and because she felt bad for her because she lived on her own after her dad passed away. But her patience reached its limits when she started demanding her and her husband become the full-time live-in carers. Apparently, she even tried applying for a loan to have a two-family house built behind their backs. I didn't know at the time, but apparently things came to a head between Fiona and her mom when she found out about the loan. And they had an argument to end all arguments. Legend has it the yelling could be heard 3 blocks away. It probably goes without saying, but life is a whole lot more stress-free for Fiona and her husband without the mother from hell in their lives. Me and my husband discussed the issue to death while things were still ongoing, but no matter how much we wanted to reach some kind of amicable solution, we had to accept it was impossible because of Rachel's toxic personality. No good No good comes from a relationship with someone who only cares about themselves. I doubt I'll ever see my mother-in-law again, and I don't even plan on going to her funeral. As for Elsa, she loves living with her grandparents. They spoil her rotten and think the world of her. It was so nice to see her go back to her old self after she stopped having anything to do with her other, less pleasant grandma. We're all having a blast, and we've never been happier. What could be better than being surrounded by the love of your family? There are no more negative influences in Elsa's life now. Between the guidance of my amazing, hardworking husband, who so kindly agreed to move in with my parents, and my mom and dad, who are the most thoughtful people I know, she's growing up to be a bright, cheerful, kind, compassionate young lady, and I couldn't be more proud of her. It's important to let those you love know you appreciate them, and I intend to do just that. Here's to a future filled with laughter and amazing memories.
Hey, Jerome. I'm not feeling too good today. Do you think it'd be best if I went to the hospital for this?
You're not feeling well? I'm sorry to hear that. And what's hurting or not feeling right?
For some reason, I've been feeling pretty weak. I've had days where I feel sleepy, and I just don't have it in me to do anything. At first I thought it was just to the atmospheric pressure changes and such, but I don't think it has anything to do with that anymore. If it were that, I'd at least still have a migraine right now and everything, but now it's just a normal headache.
You're carrying a baby right now, so there'll be times where you feel fatigued. Make sure you eat a balanced meal enough for the two of you.
But I've had pretty bad headaches as well. That's not going away. I'm just worried this could all be affecting the baby in some way. What do you think I should do, Jerome?
Well, for starters, try sleeping a bit more. I've noticed that you stay up pretty late watching TV, so maybe you should just sleep in a bit.
I've been sleeping a lot, though. I know that at times I'm awake later than you, but I make sure to at least stay in bed until around 9 or 10 in the morning.
Also, even though you're pregnant, you still act as though you can do whatever you want to yourself. I think that your body is a lot weaker by just having to carry another human. So maybe just stay home more often, instead of overdoing it by always being up and moving around.
But I'm not overdoing it. And when I go out, I make sure to wear enough clothes to keep myself warm so that I won't catch anything like a cold. I may be in a skirt sometimes, but I make sure to wear thick leggings underneath.
But I'm saying that just by being pregnant, your body will make you have to care for it more. Perhaps you should be taking things slower and keeping yourself very wrapped up. Even think about starting to drink warm water in the morning, get your system to start up a bit better and be ready for the day.
But I don't feel cold when I'm up and moving. I've always felt hot even when I'm not carrying a baby, so I'd like to at least cool off a little.
Well, then maybe you shouldn't be doing that. Maybe that's what's causing you to feel bad. Maybe it's better that for the time being, you stay home and stop going out when it's cold. If you don't take care of yourself enough while pregnant, you're gonna keep feeling sick.
But I've been watching myself. I've been sleeping in as much as I can. I've been eating pretty well, and I've gotten staying warm while I go out and about. Why do you seem to not understand me, Jerome?
It's not that I don't understand you, but I'm just very busy with work right now and don't have the time to sit here going through every small thing that could be making you feel bad.
Are you kidding me? I just wanted to let you know that I'm not doing too well, and whether I should go to the doctors or not. Why would you say that you don't have time to answer that one thing for me?
Well, if you really do feel bad enough, then go to the hospital and get it checked out. It's not like our insurance is gonna go up from you seeing the doctors once, will it? I just wanted to make sure you actually felt that bad, though, before making such a big deal out of it. And you're an adult, too, so don't even feel that you have to ask me if you should go or not. If you don't feel good enough and are worried, just go.
Jerome, recently you've been a bit harsh to me. Before you used to be so kind to me, yet now you seem to always be stressed about anything I do. What happened?
Well, let me think.
Hey, come on, tell me. Did I do something wrong? If I did anything to upset you recently, I want to know about it so that I can apologize to you. I hate having to sit and wait around, not knowing what's going on because you're too selfish and upset to tell me.
You just asking that is a bit of a pain.
Huh? Why though? I have no idea what you want. Tell me what's going on with you. Don't just sit there acting like an upset child. You already know that me carrying a baby is messing up my hormones, so you should try to understand that I can't control my emotions well enough anymore.
I don't want to talk anymore. I'm getting pissed off just reading these texts from you.
Do you think you could at least come with me to the hospital? I don't want to have to leave all by myself right now.
Why would I go? Go there by yourself. You're able to get yourself out of the house all the time, so why is the hospital any different?
Are you not worried about my health at all? Are you not even worried about your baby's health right now? Aren't you being a jerk right now?
I'm not gonna say it again.
Why are you acting like this towards me right now, Jerome? Don't you see that the baby inside me right now is mine and yours? You're acting like it's not even your problem anymore.
You think so? Say whatever you want, I guess. I don't have time for you to make a choice.
We're going to become parents very soon. We're going to have to work together to make sure we raise our baby properly. So if you have something that's bothering you right now, you have to tell me so that we can make things right. If things keep going the way they are now between us, I'll feel so bad for the baby.
You want to make things right? I don't think you're hearing what I have to say about you will make things right.
Well, I do. How about today, when you get home, we discuss all of this in person? I want to make a time for us to just sit down and chat about this. And I promise that no matter what you tell me, I'll remain calm and work on making things better for our future.
I'm not gonna be home until later tonight, so that won't work.
But recently you've always been coming home late night.
I'm working overtime.
Are you sure that you're actually working, though? You seemed a bit strange lately. I don't know. It's just like you're not the fun and vibrant Jerome I married.
Think whatever you'd like about me. Either way, I'm busy right now, so you go run off to the hospital on your own.
But I want you to come with me. Are you really just going to leave me with a cold shoulder?
You're being rude by constantly texting me when I have a lot of work to get done.
You're being the worst. And to think that I've been wanting to make a warm family for our baby when they come. Why the heck has this happened? I never once tried to hurt you so badly that you'd act this way towards me. After going to the hospital to get tested, I've been told that I needed to be admitted. They said for a little while, I'll have to remain here so that they can run even more tests and to watch and make sure that the baby remains okay. I knew that there was something bad going on with my body. Why couldn't you have just listened to me about it? That's it?
Well, just take things easy, I guess. At least you're at the hospital now, so that's a load off my back.
Well, you could at least be a bit more worried about me. Acting like you're fine with what's happening is wrong. Why do you think it's okay to be careless with me?
Why would I still need to worry about you? Is what's going on with you right now gonna kill you? Because if it is, then that's another thing, and I might think about coming.
I don't think it's bad right now, but they are saying that they need me to stay in the hospital to keep their eyes on me. So that means I'm not doing as okay as you think. Especially when all the tests haven't been done yet.
But I think you being in their hands now is a whole lot better. So is there a reason for me to still be worried about you? You have specialists right there with you that can worry for you. And if something serious does happen, they'll call me and let me know if it's worth worrying about as well.
But if your wife's in the hospital, isn't it normal for you to come in and see her at least once? And I'm also pregnant at the moment with our baby, Jerome. Don't you feel anything at all for either one of us?
Well, I suppose you could say we aren't just any old couple though, Nancy.
What? They're saying I have to be here for 3 days. Are you going to come and see me at all?
I will not.
What? So you're not even going to come in and see me? I won't be home for 3 days, Jerome.
It's just 3 days, Jesus. You can make it 3 days by yourself, right?
Come on, Jerome. There's no way you can have that kind of horrifying attitude about me.
Me going to the hospital to see you won't change anything, right? I'm not even a doctor or anything.
Who cares whether you are or not? That's not the problem at hand right now. Do you even love me anymore?
I wonder about that. Well, if I had to be blunt, I'd have to say that I don't really know anymore.
Are you kidding me? Now I'm pissed. I'm going to talk with my mom about how laid back you're acting about this.
Do whatever you'd like, Nancy. I'm sure even she won't be that upset.
You think so, huh? My mom is not only really scary, but she also makes sure you understand when you're wrong. You better be ready when she comes for you. And I won't promise that I'll be behind you to calm her down.
I heard all about you from my daughter.
What the hell are you trying to do right now?
Hello, Miranda. What all exactly did my wife end up telling you?
She is crying right now. She told me that you're being a jerk and that you won't even come to see her in the hospital.
She's even crying now. She really has gone and thrown a fit about all of this.
You're the one that made her start to cry, you idiot. I feel really bad for her right now. You better get your butt to the hospital right now and see her.
No, thank you.
Jerome, you'd better quit all this messing around bullcrap right now. If you can't take this serious, then I'm going to question your ability to be my daughter's husband and her baby's father.
Well, then I'll just leave the two of them.
I don't even want to understand what you just said.
I'm saying if you don't like me here, then I'll be okay with divorcing her. Then I'll no longer have to impress you as her husband, right?
What is wrong with you, Jerome? This can't possibly mean that you're doing something sly behind our backs, right? I've heard all about you over the past few weeks from Nancy. She says that you've been staying out late for work every day.
Do you think that I'm cheating on her? Please don't say such needless crap.
Then why have you changed all of a sudden and started treating my daughter like crap? Does this mean you have yourself a new lady friend that you've been spending time with?
The other way around. The other way. I'm not the one that's been sly behind my back. The one doing that would be your daughter. And on top of that, she was able to keep it all a secret from you as well.
What the hell are you talking about? Don't try and push all the blame onto Nancy now.
I have a very good reason for never coming home early from work anymore. And I have someone that can cover for me.
Someone to cover for you?
I'll let you know something about her. Your daughter goes out quite a lot. Normally, I wouldn't question where my wife is going all the time, but...
That's just her going out to hang with her friends and such.
Then why would I have someone to cover for me on that? Do you really think your daughter has enough people to go out with and to always have dinner with all the time?
What are you trying to say?
Last month, your daughter and her friend went to a spa together. Do you know about that?
I know she went out, yes. She was with one of her friends that she made in high school, right?
And that's the thing. She should have gone with that friend to the spa and all. But that friend is in Europe right now. And they haven't been in the US for the past 3 months.
Huh?
Also, ever since your daughter became pregnant, she's been going out more than before. When I'm at work or gonna get tasks done, she will sneak out. Don't you find that a little strange?
How would you know that she's going out all the time when you're not home?
I put a camera up in the house.
A camera?
I began to wonder when she was sneaking out of the house and where she planned on going. And that's why I began to look into things a bit closer.
And what the hell has she been up to?
Tomorrow I plan to come see you. If you're fine with that, me and you can talk about this together. Then we can go see what she's been up to together.
Huh? Together?
Your daughter has been going somewhere to meet someone every time she's out. If you're able to understand that for yourself, then you'll be able to sympathize with me on this.
Mom, can you come and see me in the hospital today? Nobody has come to see me yet, and I'm getting lonely. Not even Jerome is planning to come see me today. Isn't he the worst?
I think you're a lot worse than I am.
Huh? Mom? This is you, right?
This would be Jerome.
Jerome? What? This is my mom's number, isn't it?
It sure is. But there's no way you're calling me the worst right now. Why exactly are you trying to make yourself look like the victim?
Why are you replying to me and not my mom? You shouldn't be using my mom's phone, right?
Well, right now I'm with your mom. And just a second ago, her and I met with someone very important.
Why would you and my mom be with one another right now? You guys never said anything to me about meeting up, especially when you haven't even come to see me yet, dear.
I'd invited her out with me. Your mom was wondering if I was cheating on you or not, so I wanted to prove her wrong. And I also planned to show her what you've been doing, so I brought her out with me to give her the best evidence I had.
Why are you acting like I've been doing something wrong? I haven't even done anything, Jerome.
Don't try and play stupid with me.
I don't get what you mean. You're the one that's been messing with me, right? And now even I'm starting to think that you've been cheating on me.
And what made you think that I've been the one cheating on you?
Because you've been coming home late all the time. And you started to act like you don't love me anymore.
The reason I've been making it home later is because I've been meeting with someone.
And that's a woman you're meeting with, right?
What kind of woman do you think I'll be meeting? The people that I've been meeting with have been my lawyer and an investigator.
An investigator?
I've only had time to meet them on my way home from work, so that's why I'd never be home until after 8 p.m.
Why are you meeting with them?
Well, that would be because I'm having them investigate you.
What?
In your case, you're always going out on your own, right? Where the hell have you been going?
I've told you every time that I'm going out to meet someone.
But have you really been meeting those people that you tell me you're gonna see? The person that you told me you've been meeting me most isn't even in the US anymore.
Huh?
Also, Nancy, you've been trying your best to hide when you go out, right?
I have not been trying to hide anything.
Ugh. Actually, I've had a camera in our house installed for the past few months. I knew of every time you left that house while I wasn't around.
A camera? When did you happen to put one of those in?
I then had my investigator go out and find out where you'd head off to all the time. And now, I know everything about you. You've been frequenting another man every time you go out.
He's just a casual friend.
So you just take a casual male friend of yours to the hotel all the time around lunchtime.
You know about that as well?
I told you that I've looked into everything with you. No matter how you try and change the story, I have evidence. And I know that you have in fact been going out with another man. In other words, you've been cheating on me.
Did you meet with him?
Yep, I was just with him a second ago.
When you went out with my mom? You seriously brought her with you to go meet him?
You're a freaking disgrace of a daughter. Why the hell would you do something so vile?
Mom?
You have no right making yourself out as a victim when you've been the one cheating on your husband. And now I'm starting to really wonder if that baby inside you is really Jerome's or not.
Stop that! This baby is Jerome's.
Well, I've already heard more than enough from your secret man. No matter how you try to hide things from me and Jerome, we already had a whole breakdown of everything from him. The reason you started to feel unwell is because even though you've been pregnant, you go out with him and sleep together to pass the time.
You're wrong, Mom. Please, listen to me. But first, can we all calm down a little?
I'm not wrong about diddly squat. You even kept all of this hidden from your own mother. I had trusted everything you told me, and you made me look like a fool in front of Jerome with everything I yelled at him about. You've embarrassed me for the last time.
That man and me have only been with each other for a little bit, and we plan to break things off here real soon. I never thought you both doubt me enough to look into it.
And what do you think that means to us? Do you think you could finish things with him before the baby was born? What does that mean? You've been cheating on Jerome, and it doesn't matter how long you plan to do it for.
I know that, but...
I don't want to hear any more excuses out of you, Missy. You're going to have to pay for this now, and there's not a dang thing you can do about it.
Are you not going to side with me on this, Mom?
I don't even want to be around you anymore.
Why not? Please just listen to me, Mom. Siding with that jerk is not fair. Mom?
Sorry about that, Nancy. I guess you'll have to talk with me again. Your mom has just told something you want to hear, and that's that she will no longer talk to you. And it seems that the man you were with has said goodbye to you as well.
What did you guys talk about?
Did you know that he's married as well? You're gonna have to pay some major settlements, and I'm gonna make sure to hand in all the evidence. He told me he had tried his best to hide this relation between you two, but his wife soon found out as well.
That prick. Does he think he could just run away from me now?
Well, he seemed like the kind of guy to do that to someone he had no feelings for. I honestly didn't think he'd be able to say goodbye that quickly. Anywho, I'm gonna make sure you pay up for everything you've done this far.
Wait, are you planning to leave me too?
I've been planning on a divorce for a while now.
And that's why you've been so cold to me? You knew that I was cheating on you?
You know the reason why I was so cold to you. Why wouldn't I be that way after you hid all this from me, and even try to blame me? I was so dumb with you, and yet you still try to play dumb by having your mom get involved.
What are we going to do about the baby? It seems like you still doubt it being your baby. I'm sure that this is your baby, Jerome.
Well, if it does turn out to be mine, I'll take it. But I have a very good suspicion that this is in fact not mine. When I learned about how long you and that other guy had been sleeping together for, I knew I couldn't trust it. Well, once we get a test run on the baby, we'll know for sure, though.
Are you sure? If it does turn out to be your baby, you'll take it?
But if that does turn out to be the case, you're gonna have to pay child support. I'll make sure to not only get my settlement money from you, but that you continue to pay up every month for the baby.
But if I do that, I won't have any money for myself.
Well, this is on you, so there's nothing else you can do. No matter whose baby it even ends up being, you're still gonna be stuck paying a lot of money. That's the reward you asked for by cheating on me.
If you understand that I don't have the money, though, why do you keep asking for me?
Understand what you've done, and that's why I won't go easy on you. Literally, the moment I knew you'd been cheating on me, I made sure that I'd get my revenge.
Please, don't say such scary things like that. Give me.
I'm so looking forward to when you get out of that hospital. I'll have my lawyer get in touch with you, and the next time we meet, we can all have a wonderful discussion about all of this. You said you wanted to talk about this all in person, right? You should be happy I've agreed to. After that, we immediately made sure to do a DNA test on her baby. Of course, that baby ended up not being mine in the end. Not only would she be paying the settlement I asked for, but she'd be stuck with that baby on her own. Luckily enough, she did end up paying everything I asked for in one payment, but that was only thanks to her borrowing a large amount of money from the bank and putting herself into a hole. Of course, she wouldn't be getting any help from the man that decided to help her make that baby either, so she was on her own for everything. Nancy was able to have a safe birth, but things would begin to get rough after that. Well, none of that has anything to do with me though, so her and I haven't talked to each other since. But there was one day that I got a text from my mom asking me if I knew where her daughter had gone. Apparently, she left with her baby and ran away to hide. And naturally, I had no idea where that idiot could have gone off to. So then, things between me and her mom had ended there. I'm sure that things ended up with Miranda having to care for the baby, while Nancy was never heard from again. That's until at least a month had passed, and there was some news about her on the TV. She had apparently ran away, out of state to go chase down that man she'd been sleeping with while married to me. She was able to find where he was living, and broke in, threatening him for leaving her to deal with me all by herself or something like that. In the end, though, it turns out that he was not that sane either about what happened, and beat her senseless for breaking in before the police arrived and arrested them both. I'm sure her mom has heard the news of this, but I doubt she's ever gonna bail her out of jail for what she'd done, and it would only be more of a pain having Nancy back at home. As for me, I left the big city and moved into the countryside where I took over the work of my parents. I think life's much better now, having the comfort of nature and my family again.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
I just filed the divorce papers.
I see. I guess there was no way we could talk things through in the end, huh?
Why would you even say that after all this time? Surely you understand. We're not a good match, Arthur. Our values are different. Me and you are like oil and water. Even if we did give it another go, we'd only drive each other up the walls and be at each other's throats again within 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know. We've done nothing but fight lately. We can't carry on like that. It won't be fair on Hannah. I know there's no salvaging our relationship, Bella.
Anyways, this is the end. Surely there's nothing for us to discuss anymore?
The only reason you're saying that is because you got your way. I just can't accept you taking custody of Hannah.
Christ, Arthur! Are we really gonna do this again? We've had this conversation 1,000 times by now. I'm taking Hannah because it's her best interest to be with me. I'm only thinking about her happiness. This isn't personal. She's a girl. A girl needs to be with her mother. What would you know about bringing up a little girl? What would you do when she started puberty? When she had her first period? It's not possible for a guy to understand these things. So, how could you possibly give her the guidance she needs?
Sure, but still.
The only reason she's so clingy with you now is because she's young. She'd do a complete 180 when she got older. All teenage girls hate their dads, Arthur. That's a fact of life. She needs to be with her mom, and that's final.
The only one who hates me is you. That's what I'm worried about.
Don't be ridiculous. What is there to worry about?
Can you really do this on your own?
What's that supposed to mean?
It means exactly what it sounds like. Do you understand how hard it's going to be financially to raise a little girl on your own? How are you going to do it on your salary? You barely bring in enough to look after yourself, let alone our daughter. Can you afford to send her to college?
Wow, this is a new low even for you, Arthur. You're making fun of me because you make more money than me? You think you're so special with your high-paying job and your fancy car, don't you, jerk?
Whoa. Relax. I'm not making fun of you at all. I just think we should be realistic about this and accept that raising a little girl on your own is gonna be tough, and even more so without the necessary funds.
Whatever. You were so making fun of me. You think you're so much better than me, don't you?
No way. I just have genuine doubts, okay? Is that a crime? This is our daughter's future we're talking about here. You're going to have to raise her while holding down a full-time job. Have you even thought about the implications of that?
Don't underestimate me. I'm more than capable of raising a little girl on my own. I'll be able to find a new job with a better salary if I put my mind to it.
Really?
Anyway, no matter what you say or how much doubt you pile on me, we're going our separate ways, and there's nothing you can do to change my mind. I'll show you I can do it. You're gonna feel like such an idiot when you find out how well things are going.
Jesus, Bella. Why do you speak like this is some kind of competition? All I want is what's best for our daughter. I'm not trying to one-up you.
I know everyone makes fun of me. You all think I'm a useless, good-for-nothing with no redeeming qualities.
No one thinks that about you.
Yes, they do. Even my own freaking parents hate me. All they ever do is praise you. It's like you're the second coming of Jesus in their eyes. They think you can do no wrong because you work for a major company and make lots of money, Mr. Perfect. What a joke. Well, you won't get the last laugh. Mark my words. I'm gonna show you what I'm made of, and you'll regret ever looking down on me. You all will.
Jeez, point taken. I get it. You're going to make a big fool of me and show the world how incredible you are, right? If you insist on waging this imaginary war in your mind, then who am I to stop you? Heck, I couldn't if I tried. But I want you to remember that if you're ever struggling, and I mean with anything, I'll always be a phone call away. I'll do whatever I can to help you and Hannah.
I have nothing more to say to you, and that ain't gonna change. I'll be taking Hannah and moving somewhere far away with her soon. We don't need your help. I can do this on my own.
Whoa, slow down a sec. You're moving? Where to?
Out of state. The place I'm looking at would probably take you about 4 hours in the car.
Bella, please, that's too far. Are you trying to stop me from seeing my daughter?
If you want to see her, nothing will be stopping you from coming and seeing her. Of course, I never want to see you again, but you're welcome to see your daughter.
What the hell? You're trying to make this as difficult for me as possible. At least let me stay in contact with her.
In contact?
Will you get her a phone? At least then I can message her.
She shouldn't have a phone at her age. She can wait until she's in high school.
Bella, please, will you compromise on this one thing? Wasn't getting your divorce and taking full custody enough for you? Now you're going to cut me out of her life completely? You could call me every name under the sun and hate me forever for all I care. But please, get my daughter a phone so I can at least talk to her.
Fine. I'll buy her a phone. Happy now?
Thank you. That means a lot to me. I want you to know that I don't blame you for everything that happened. It hurts that I didn't get custody of Hannah, but I know I made mistakes myself, and I won't try to deny that. I want you to know that I support you and want you to succeed. You deserve to be happy.
I just thought I'd let you know. We finished moving into our new house this morning.
Hey, Bella. I see. Thank you for telling me. How's Hannah doing?
She loves it here. There's a park right outside the front door. She did a little song and dance when I told her she could go out and play whenever she wanted. She was over the moon.
You said you were going to buy her a phone, right? How's that looking? You didn't forget your promise, did you?
Don't rush me, Arthur. I just finished moving house, for crying out loud. Do you know how stressful that is? We don't even have our things unpacked, and you want me to go out and buy a phone? It can wait. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll download the Messenger app and add you to our contacts. Will that satisfy you?
Sure, that's a great start. Thanks. Would you mind teaching her how to actually use the thing, though? It might be a little overwhelming for her.
Don't be silly. All kids these days know how to use smartphones. Oh, perfect. She says she wants to speak to you. She can show you her skills right now.
Daddy, it's Hannah.
Hannah! That's my girl. How did you get so good at using smartphones?
I practiced. I can even type faster than Mom.
I always knew you were a genius. That's great. This means we'll be able to speak all the time.
Mommy says she's gonna buy me one. Can you believe it? My very own phone.
I know, sweetie. I'm so pleased for you. Isn't it great? Now, we'll be able to speak wherever we want to. Me and you are going to be living a little far away from each other from now on, but at least we can still stay in touch. I want you to message me whenever you feel like it.
But Mommy said I can only use my phone an hour per day. Other than that, she said I can only use it to speak to you.
Smartphones are amazing and all kinds of convenient, but they also come with lots of hidden dangers, sweetie. I'm sure your mom will let you use it more when you're older, and get even better with it. For the time being, you'll have to make do with your hour a day, which is a long time, you know. There are kids in some part of the world who don't have smartphones at all. You're very lucky.
Wow, really? I'm lucky? Cool. Daddy, do you and Mommy love me?
Of course we do, sweetie. We love you very, very much. You're the most important person in the world to us.
I love you guys too.
Your mom's going to be looking out for you from now on. But I'll always be here on the other end of the phone, and we can talk anytime. Your mom's going to be working really hard to look after you, so I want you to look after her too. Can you do that for me?
I will, Daddy, but I don't want to move school.
I know it feels difficult now, but you'll have tons of new friends before you know it. Moving might be scary, but all it actually needs is lots more new, exciting things for you to discover and amazing people to meet.
I guess.
It's been great to speak to you, sweetie.
Happy now? I have stuff to unpack.
Sure thing. Thank you. And good luck. I know you can do this.
I don't need you to tell me that. Me and you are probably never gonna see each other again. Goodbye.
Daddy.
Huh? Hannah? I didn't expect to hear from you this late on New Year's Eve. Is your mom still awake?
I'm all on my own.
At this time of night? Ah, I take it your mom's at work? Want to do the New Year countdown together?
No. Daddy, help me.
I'm so cold I think I might pass out.
You're cold? Wait, are you outside?
I'm in the house.
You need to turn on the heating, sweetie. Do you know how to do it?
It won't turn on.
God, is it broken?
It's not broken. It got cut off. The lights won't turn on either. It's pitch black, plus the gas got cut off.
The lights and gas too? Seriously? Are you sure the lights definitely won't turn on? What do you mean they got cut off? Was there a power cut?
Oh, they just won't turn on. Mom said the gas and power got cut off. Oh, it's snowing like crazy outside. Oh, I'm so cold, Daddy.
Listen to me, sweetie. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to get into bed and wrap yourself up nice and warm under the duvet. Mom must have a duvet too, right? Take hers, wrap yourself up in both of them. They might feel a little heavy, but you'll be warm. Why did the gas and power get cut off? Did your mom have enough money?
Probably not. I only get to eat once a day. There are some days where all I eat is my free school lunch.
Wow. Things are that desperate? Your mom is working, right?
Mm-hmm. She goes to work every day. But she says she got fired from her last job. And that's why we don't have any money.
Fired? Wow. Sounds like your mom's been having a hard time.
I'm on winter vacation now, so I don't even get my school lunches anymore. There's nothing to eat, Daddy. I'm so hungry.
Hold tight, baby. I'm gonna come to you.
Really?
It might take me a while in this blizzard. But just wrap yourself up in those duvets, like I said, and hold on tight till I get there, okay?
Daddy, Mommy said I wasn't meant to tell you about the things with the heating and lights getting cut off. But I couldn't take it anymore. I'm sorry.
It's fine, baby. You don't have to say sorry. You did nothing wrong. I'm proud of you for letting me know. I have no way of knowing you're in trouble unless you tell me, so thank you.
Is Mommy gonna get angry with me?
If she does, she's in the wrong. Don't worry, sweetie. I'll speak to her. I'm coming to help you now.
You have to hurry, please. I want to live with you again, Daddy. Please don't leave me.
Hello again, Bella. It's been a while. Did you get off work yet?
Huh? What do you want?
Working through New Year's Eve until the early hours? That's rough. Do you work night shift now?
I said, what do you want?
It didn't take you long to move again. You've barely been there 5 minutes. The place was completely empty.
What? Why would you try coming to my house? How dare you?
Because Hannah sent me a desperate plea for help. She was trembling with cold and hunger when I got there. It turns out you can make your living in abject poverty.
When you got there? What are you talking about?
I got Hannah to find out the new address for your new place and came over to help her. I've never seen such a sorry-looking excuse for a house in my life. I hear the gas and electric got cut off too.
Did Hannah call you? How dare she defy me like this?
Tell me what's going on, Bella. How did things get so bad? Did you struggle to find a new job?
No, I had a job at a good company. But I had some problems with my coworkers.
I heard you got fired?
I had no choice but to voluntarily resign. They let me jump before I got pushed.
What the hell did you do?
I didn't do anything. It's just that one of the guys there took a disliking to me and fed the boss a pack of nonsensical lies. He made a formal complaint against me. He said I was ruining the work environment, and I got forced to step down.
You always did have a hard time dealing with people, huh? Remember when I used to tell you being so abrasive with everyone was gonna come and bite you in the ass one day?
Abrasive? I'm not abrasive. Probably just made him feel insecure because I was so good at my job. It was jealousy. I know it. He must have gone round the whole office, bad-mouthing me, because he somehow convinced everyone else to back him up. And before I knew it, I'm getting called into the boss's office being told I have to leave.
I see. So then what? You found something else, right?
I did, but it's only part-time. I make less than half the money I did at my old job.
Less than half?
The economy's in a bad way right now.
Jesus, Bella, why did you tell me you were going through such hard times? You know I've been there to help in a heartbeat. Would you really sooner let the gas and electric get cut off than reach out for help? Hannah was living like a kid in a third world country when I found her.
Even if I did tell you, you would have just made fun of me. You would have probably burst out laughing like, haha, Bella's struggling. I knew she'd be lost without me. There was no way I was gonna give you the satisfaction.
Wow, you're paranoid. I'm not out to get you, Bella. I'm on your side.
Liar! I know that's what you would have said. Things should have never ended up this way. Everything was going well for a while.
I know you gave this your all.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! You know nothing! Give me my daughter back or I'll call the police!
Jeez, would you just calm down and talk to me?
I said give her back! I don't need your help. I don't need you in my life at all. So just give me back my daughter and get lost! Quit sticking your nose in my business!
That's enough! Pull yourself together! Quit subjecting our daughter to a life of poverty to shield your wounded pride!
My wounded pride? What's that supposed to mean? I'm doing my best here.
What does it matter if Hannah can barely eat? What does it matter if she spends her days crying alone under piles of duvets? You're clearly not capable of raising a child right now. You should have asked for help or given her up before things got this bad. Do you have any idea how much she suffered because you were too proud to admit you couldn't cope?
You think you're so perfect, don't you? Get off your high horse and quit preaching at me. This is the last thing I need.
These aren't just my words.
Huh?
Where do you think I am right now? I'm at your parents' house.
Why?
Your dad might have retired recently, but he was still a doctor for 4 decades. I brought Hannah over so you could take a look at her. None of the doctors are open since it's New Year's Day.
Why didn't you just take her to the ER? Why did you have to take her to my parents? You had no right to do this.
I couldn't take her to the ER. It's not like she has any major injuries or anything. They would have turned us away at reception. She just seems weak and malnourished, so I thought taking her to see your dad was like best option. I still had his number in my phone, so I gave him a call. He told me to bring her over.
Does that mean my parents know about my situation too?
Yeah, they know. They're sat next to me right now. They were so worried about you. They know how stubbornly proud you are. They knew you'd rather hit rock bottom than actually admit you need help and rely on them or anyone else. They told you countless times they always be here for you, but you refuse to reach out. They know you better than you know yourself.
Oh my god. So you're all together, laughing about me?
No one's laughing, Bella. This isn't a laughing matter. We're just at a loss. How are we supposed to help you if you won't let us? Your dad was so shocked when I told him how bad things had gotten.
You mean when he found out what a worthless, good-for-nothing his daughter is? I mean, how could I be anything else? I never had what it took to become a respected doctor, not like him. I was always the black sheep of my family. I failed my med school entrance exams and had no choice to go to a subpar college, which meant I got an unfulfilling job at a nameless company in a boring industry full of high school dropouts.
Bella, do you have an inferiority complex because you couldn't become a doctor like your dad? Did anyone give you a hard time about not getting into med school?
No, no one. You want to know what made me realize how pathetic I am? I'm getting married to you.
Me?
We both graduated at the same crappy college. And yet, there you were with your high-paying executive job at a major company. I got sick of hearing everyone praise you when we were together. You were always the center of attention, but no one ever had a good word to say about me. I'll admit it. I felt kind of proud to hear everyone singing my man's praises at first. But I soon got tired of it. Then I started to feel jealous, and eventually, I began to hate you.
Wow, I see. So that's why you divorced me. I understand you might have been frustrated, but that still doesn't explain or justify what happened with Hannah. She never would have suffered like this if you just admitted you weren't coping and reached out for help. I'm taking her.
No, you're not! I won't allow it!
Me and your parents had a lengthy discussion, and that's what we decided on. I'm taking custody of Hannah, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. It's in her best interest that she lives with me. It's time to get real, Bella. You can barely afford to look after yourself, let alone our daughter. Not having her to worry about should lighten the load on you a little. Think about it. You'll finally have room to breathe.
No, I was just about to get things back on track, I swear! Things were finally starting to look up. You can't snatch her away from me now.
Do you think I'm only talking about money here? Don't get me wrong. Your financial situation is dire, but that isn't the biggest problem. That isn't what worries me the most about you raising our daughter. What worries me the most is you and your personality. Do something about that stubborn pride of yours, and then maybe we could talk.
Well, are you saying I have a problem?
I'm not saying it's a bad thing to have feelings of pride. And I'm not even saying it's a bad thing to be stubborn sometimes. But we live in a society, and that society has other people in it. As much as it might suck, there are times when we have to swallow that pride for the sake of others. The fact that you're so incapable of doing that tells me that you still have a lot of growing up to do. And I can't leave my daughter and her future in the hands of someone like that. You can't raise a child when you're still a child yourself. After a lengthy, emotional discussion with her parents, Bella was persuaded to give up Hannah, reluctantly accepting their pointed advice in floods of tears. She was just about able to scrape a living on her own after having the weight of raising Hannah lifted from her shoulders. I hope this whole episode gave her cause for reflection on how things got this way, who she is as a person, and who she wants to be going forward. I'll be honest. I feel like stubbornness that extreme falls more into the category of mental disorder than personality quirk, and I can't say for sure where she'll overcome it, but I hope from the bottom of my heart that she does. Forget raising our daughter, she'll be lucky if she can even hold down a job because she carries going on through life acting like that. After all, what's work all about if not coexisting and cooperating with others towards a common goal? How can you do that if the word compromise isn't even in your vocabulary? Hannah was soon back to her old, bright, bubbly self after moving in with me. I made sure she knew how proud I was for the bravery she showed in breaking her mom's rules and reaching out. She went through a lot, and the last thing she needs is to feel guilty on top of it. I have an obligation as her dad to be her rock, someone she knows she can rely on in times of trouble, and I'm committed to honoring that obligation with every fiber of my being.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Miss Kelly, do you have a second for me? Mom,
Of course. I have a second. What's up? Is everything all right? It's about tomorrow. Do you have any plans? If not, I have lunch planned with some of my friends, so I was wondering if I could ask you to drive me to and from the restaurant. Oh, I'm sorry, but I actually have a hospital appointment tomorrow, so I'm not sure I can really help you out. Huh? Hospital? Wait, you're not getting fertility treatments, are you? Yeah, exactly. You still haven't given up? How much longer are you planning on continuing with treatments? I'm not sure. I haven't really given any thought on quitting. I want to keep trying until I'm satisfied with how much I've tried. Satisfied? Well, how exactly do you plan on being satisfied? You've been at this for almost 3 years already. You should give up. You need to get a move on with your life. But both Justin and I want to have a baby, so I want to keep trying for just a little longer. It's a waste. What? A waste? I know that fertility treatments cost a lot of money. Just to be frank here, it's a waste. Don't you think it's a waste to be throwing away money year after year? Since we both want to do it, it never really crossed my mind at all that it would be a waste of money or time. I'm saying that logic is a waste. If you spend that kind of money on treatments, you could be saving it or going on vacation overseas. Not to mention, you're a nurse, but you only work part-time. You should work full-time to make sure that you earn more money. You'll be able to save more money for the future, too. I understand that we'd be able to save more money that way. You're probably right about that, but I want to focus on my fertility treatments. Stop making me repeat myself. You need to stop with your fertility treatments and send me money. Send you money? I'm sorry, I'm talking about the money that you always send me to help me out. I'm sorry, I was being so blunt about it. Don't worry about it too much. What I'm trying to say is, worry about the people that exist before you worry about the kids that don't exist. Do you understand me? My valuable son married you, and this is making all of it go to waste. You need to stop this. What about taking care of me? I'm sure you don't care about me at all, do you? I'm getting turned down for being taken to and from my lunch tomorrow. I'm so sad. I thought we were family, but apparently you don't really consider us the same way, do you? I'm sorry, I really didn't mean anything by that. If I've offended you, I'm really sorry about that. If you can't take me tomorrow, can you take me to the hot springs next month? I wanted to go on vacation because I haven't gone in a long time. Come on, you can do that for me, right? We don't have to go far. It can be close. Hot springs, huh? I'll talk about it with Justin and see what we can do. You have money to spend on fertility treatments. I'm sure you have enough money to take me on vacation, right? Make sure you put in a good word for me. Miss Kelly, I'm struggling a little bit this month. Can you increase the amount of money that you send me for help? Mom, I have to ask, what exactly are you spending all of your money on? We literally sent you extra the other day and you've already spent all of it? Justin and I are both out of money to spare. I have a lot of things that I need to handle. Besides, you two quit your fertility treatment, right? I know that you two have stopped going to the hospital recently. Wait, why didn't you tell me before I found out on my own anyway? You really could have said something, couldn't you? I'm sorry, we had our timing to tell you. What are you talking about timing, LOL? I'm sure you were just spending the extra money on your own greed and fooling around on your own, right? You realize that adults shouldn't be doing that, right? You need to act like a grown-up. I mean, at least you don't have any more money you're wasting on your fertility treatments, so that's a win. Now you can start sending me more money as a thank you, LOL. I'm not using it on any kind of leisure, and it wasn't a waste for me to spend money on fertility treatments. And the only reason we were sending you money to begin with was because you said you needed money to spend on daily necessities. You remember the first time you asked us for help, right? It's not like we have a lot of money to spare to begin with. I really hope you understand where I'm coming from. If you have money to spare on fertility treatments, you definitely have spare money to send to me, right? LOL. Besides, what exactly can a woman like you, who can't even have kids, do? Tell me. You can only work and make money, right? If I'm not complaining that I can't have a grandchild soon, it only makes sense, right? Makes sense, huh? Ah, I have an idea. Why don't you just become a full-time employee somewhere? Then you can make more money than a part-time job. You'll even get bonuses from that. You should definitely do that instead. Just give up on a kid, okay? Just quit your stupid part-time job, LOL. A woman who can't even give birth just needs to focus on work, LOL. Mom, I'm not working anymore. Huh? I quit my job because we found out that I was pregnant. That's why we won't be able to send you any kind of money anymore. Huh? Pregnant? Did you mistype that or... You're infertile, right? Yes. You were getting treatments for it, right? Yes, I was. I really had a difficult time getting pregnant, but we were able to make a baby. Are you telling me the truth? I am telling you nothing but the truth. Would you like to see proof of my pregnancy? I don't need to see any proof. I mean, it doesn't really matter though. Who knows if the baby will successfully make it to term, right? There are a lot of risks, am I right, LMAO? How could you be so disgusting? I was so glad to have put distance between you and our family. Put distance? What exactly are you talking about, LOL? We all actually moved. Huh? We all moved out of that town last night. Moved out? Where? Wait, where is Justin then? Justin quit his job? It has nothing to do with you anymore, so you don't need to worry about a thing. Of course it has to do with me. I'm his mother, and your mother-in-law. I mean, yeah, I guess it says that on the papers, but we have always wanted to cut ties with you. Both of us. Justin is saying that too? I don't believe it. That would never happen. He's such a kind soul. He would never do that. Yeah, you're right. Justin is an incredibly kind person. That's exactly why he got tired of your day-to-day behavior. He just couldn't get over the attitude you had towards me, and especially the things you were telling me while we were trying to get pregnant. Attitude? Things I said? What are you talking about? Remember all the terrible things you told me while I was getting the fertility treatments? Here, let me jog your memory. Fertility treatments are basically a waste. You're just burning money away. Waste. Terrible. Easy. Send money. The attitude you had where you felt entitled to have us send you money every other week. We were almost hopeless, but kept trying to get pregnant while we got treatment. Everything you said hit us right where it hurt, and it was very distasteful to say the least. We're family. I just had to tell you the truth. Calm down. I had no intention of hurting either one of you. You should know that. You really can't understand such a simple concept. I see. Okay, then let me just tell you the truth. As family. The money that Justin and I earn from our hard work is not money for you to spend. I was always irritated by how insensitive you were. Your ideas of only ever caring about yourself. I'm sure everyone around you hates you and talks about you behind your back, too. You were even tricked by the person you cheated on with. I was surprised to know that the money we were sending you was just being used by some man. You should have seen the look on Justin's face. Oh, your husband knows everything that we know, by the way. He says he's going to divorce you right away. That's why he's not even home yet, right? Oh well, why would he be there? He moved with us. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I offend you? I just had to tell you the truth. As family. Oh wait, this isn't just my truth. It's a literal fact, LOL. What are you talking about? He's away on vacation with one of his friends. Oh, that's a total lie. What? Hang on. What are you talking about me cheating too? Please stop spewing bullshit. It's really tiring me. Huh? Bullshit, huh? You think so? I'm staring at a picture of you going into a hotel with some man. That's so strange. What exactly were you two doing in this photo then? Are you trying to get revenge now or something? You're seriously such a cutthroat bitch, you know that? The only reason you couldn't get pregnant was because of how rotten your personality was. I'm sure even if you have a baby, it'll have some kind of deformity or live a terrible life. I don't really care what you think. You can say whatever you want. Oh, actually, I have a little message for you from Dad. I'm going to leave the whole divorce up to the lawyers. So he's saying that from now on. Make sure you talk to his lawyers about anything you want to tell him. Sure, I'll divorce him, no problem, LOL. I don't care about a shitty, good-for-nothing man like that anyway. You just remember what you've done to me. Miss Kelly, please, I need you to tell me where you guys are. I have really repented and looked back on all my mistakes. Just like you were saying, I was being fooled by the person I was in a relationship with. He had claimed that he ran a business, but the reality of it was that he was jobless. And he was even married. Can you believe that? I told him the truth, that I was already married. Mom, you really have to stop contacting me. I have made it so that you can contact me in case of an emergency until the divorce is finalized. That's the only reason I haven't blocked you. If you keep contacting me like this, I will have my lawyer figure something out. This is an emergency to me! I want to apologize to my husband correctly, too. Please give me another chance. I can't do that. I have no intention of ever forgiving you. Justin and Dad both say they have seen even less intention of forgiving you. I've seriously had a change of heart, so please, let me see you guys. I think that someone else should be the judge of whether or not you have had a change of heart. You telling me you've changed doesn't really ring true. Well then, what the hell am I supposed to do? I won't have a place to live, and all of my family members have left me. How am I supposed to continue living? How about you figure that out on your own? I don't want to have a divorce. I don't want to break up. Well, the whole thing started because you were having an affair, and if this keeps going on, I'm sure the divorce will be brought in front of a judge in court. I don't think there's any benefit to you dragging this out. I don't care! If it turns into a court case, I'll be able to see him in court. Like I said earlier, he has no intention on working things out with you at all. Just let him go already. No! Never! I just can't let it go! It's not fair! I totally understand that. Right? You do understand, right? You didn't give up on your fertility treatments till you finally got pregnant, right? That's proof that you shouldn't give up until you feel like you've exhausted all your options. But you told me this once. You need to move on with your life. I feel like that's the exact advice you need to follow right now, don't you think? LMAO. The only reason that we figured out her affair and where the money was going was because of my father-in-law asking us for some advice. He had figured that she was cheating on him, so he hired a PI to get evidence of the affair. And since Justin was considering changing jobs and I was pregnant, he figured that he would just make the change and move out with us to get away from her. He had always been a kind man ever since I've known him. He's always protected us from the crazy and wild mom. At first, he was hesitant to move in with us because he didn't want to bother us. But I was totally fine with the whole idea. If anything, I'm more happy that he lives with us. And while we were all enjoying our new lives, my mother-in-law was being sued by the man's wife. And she was also struggling to pay for herself. Apparently, she's struggling pretty badly. The neighbors and her relatives are all keeping her at arm's distance because of her behavior. No one is there to help her out. I mean, she brought everything on herself, so I really don't feel like I pity her at all. The other day, I was able to give birth to a child between my husband and I. He's adorable, and I really can't believe how much I love him. He's too cute that I completely forget about that woman. My father-in-law's court case was also over, and he was successfully a divorced man. She wanted to try to drag the whole thing out to make sure that they were still technically in a relationship, but she was apparently struggling pretty dang bad in her private life. The second that he said he was going to completely get rid of all compensation, she agreed to get a divorce real quick. It's really a sad story till the very end. But we didn't care at all about the fact that we wouldn't be receiving any compensation either. If anything, we thought that it was much more important and valuable for us to move away from her as soon as possible. You really can't underestimate the strength of your child, though. They have the power to lift your spirits, even when you're at your lowest low. I hope to live life to the fullest with my new family of 4. I'm happy to say that my life is incredible right now.
Ron, I don't know what to do. My dad just got taken away in an ambulance.
Your dad? Don't joke about stuff like that.
I'm not joking. I'm serious.
What? Seriously? When?
Just now. I just arrived at the hospital myself.
Yeah, seriously? What happened? How is he?
Well, he just collapsed all of a sudden. I have no idea why or what's going to happen to him.
Seriously? Your dad is pretty old though, right?
Well, yeah, he is, but that's not the point.
Sorry, babe, but I'm on holiday right now. I'd love to come home if I could, but that just ain't gonna be possible right now, sweet cheeks.
Yeah, I know.
And to tell you the truth, I'd be a little annoyed if you did ask me to come home. I'm in New York with some of the boys from work right now. We're having a blast. Your dad has been a real big help to me, though. I'm grateful for that. If he's still conscious, pass the message on for me before he goes. Okay, babe?
Don't you think you're being a little insensitive?
Huh? What do you mean? Parents go before their kids. It's just the way of the world. He ain't exactly a spring chicken anymore. Can't be helped.
That may be so, but the way you're speaking about him is disrespectful. You're acting like he's already dead. He's done so much for you, Ron. Treated you like his own son. You don't have to be so callous.
Yeah, you're right. Your dad's been a big help. I'd be knee-deep in a river of the brown stuff if not for him, figuratively speaking. It ain't like I didn't repay the favor, though. Been caring for him for a long time since he stopped being able to get around on his own, you know. Then there was the taking him to and from the hospital. My car was basically his personal taxi. It's not like I didn't have things to do, Donna. I'm a busy guy with a lot on my plate. I know it must be tough to go through this on your own, but you got this.
I'm really scared. I feel lost, and I don't know what to do.
Grow up, babe. You ain't 12 anymore. It's plain as day you're trying to make me feel guilty, so I drop everything and rush home. Oh yeah, what about what's his name? Your relative. That guy, I can't remember his name for the life of me. Come to think of it, he lives close by, right? Why not just give him the quick rundown and broadcast your SOS to him?
Dad told me not to tell you this because he didn't want to interrupt your holiday. But he said he wants to see you. Won't you just come, Ron? It'd make him happy. He thinks a lot of you.
Man, what a drag. Can't you take a hint, woman? I've got everything pinned on this holiday. When do I ever get the chance to go on vacation with my boss? Like how I'm letting your dad jeopardize this. Plus, all my coworkers are here. I'd look like a dunce in front of the whole company. It wouldn't be an over-exaggeration to say that if I can butter my boss up real nicely here, get him to see my strong points and understand what a swell guy I am, he'll realize I'm the guy to promote. And my future at this company will be secure. I'll be going places, babe. Going places!
I see. Tell me, Ron. Just what is my father to you?
Let me think. A stranger? Heh, that wasn't a very imaginative answer, was it? What I mean is, anyone who isn't me is basically a stranger.
You don't think of my dad as family?
Come on, surely you know he's not really that big a deal to me. Anyway, all I do is work. And you want to know why that is, Donna? It's to provide for you. I work long, hard hours to make sure you have everything you need and don't suffer.
I'm really pleased about that. But if it's not like I have no money either, I am working myself, you know. Rather than that, I wish you'd help me out with some stuff sometimes. Like caring for my dad and the housework. You say you do what you do for me, but I feel like you're never actually there for me. It's all just empty gestures. I wish we could spend more time as a family. Without that, what's all the work for?
You work? You're not exactly on a CEO salary, are you, babe? You bring home pocket change at best. Plus, looks like I know how you really feel about me now. Is this how you repay me for the long hours I slave away at the office for you? My feelings for you just fizzled out, babe.
Fizzled out? Why am I being told my husband no longer has feelings for me when my dad's lying seriously ill in a hospital bed? Why aren't you by my side the one time I need you more than ever?
Listen, Donna, I get it. Your mom ain't around anymore and you're lonely. Seriously, babe? Don't you think you're laying a whole damsel in distress act a bit thick? What is this, a Greek tragedy? That reminds me. What's happening with the will?
What?
I asked what's going on with the will. Your dad had some cash put aside, didn't he? I wonder how much I'm gonna get. Donna? I can see the red marks on my messages, you know. You can't run away as soon as it comes to talking money. We gotta discuss this, babe. Hello?
My dad just came out of theater. The doctor said the operation was a success.
Whoa!
Yep.
That's amazing.
What is?
To think, just a few hours ago he was being carried away in an ambulance, floating between the border of life and death. Now he's absolutely fine. Modern medicine is amazing when you think about it.
It sure is.
Donna? You're not mad, are you? You sulking? Why?
Huh? Why what? Do you really not get it?
Come on, babe. How many times I gotta tell you? I'm on an important work vacation right now. It ain't my fault I can't come. Besides, even if your dad really was at death's door, supposing I did come back, I wouldn't make it in time to see him kick the bucket anyway. So why should I ruin my work vacation over it? That's irrelevant anyway. What's important is the operation was successful. Everything turned out just great for you.
I'm trembling with fear. And what does turned out great for me mean? Are you not pleased?
Well, the operation was a success, wasn't it?
Is that the only thing you can say? I barely recognize you anymore, Ron. Who is this horrible person, and where did he come from?
Why are you being such a drama queen, babe? Stop blowing everything out of proportion.
I'm not overblowing anything.
Oh yeah? Here's a little thought experiment for you then. Let's say, for example, my dad got taken to the hospital while you were taking an exam that your promotion depended on. Would you just get up and walk out of the exam to go and see him? Just because he'd been carried off in an ambulance? You wouldn't, would you?
I'd go in a heartbeat.
Don't be ridiculous, babe. Of course you wouldn't. You're just lying so you can feel snug and self-righteous.
I'd go because it's the decent thing to do. I'd go because family is about looking out for each other.
It's not like he raised you, babe. Why would you go? What's in it for you? You should think more carefully before you speak. Like I said before, strangers. You and my dad, me and yours. We're all strangers. Me and you aren't blood related. So why would you have any interest in what's going on with my dad? That's just weird, babe. You're gonna run into misfortune one day if you keep going through life with those silly, naive ideas of yours.
Regardless, I'd still want to help others, even if they might be strangers, as you put it. Didn't you say the same thing when we got married? You said that was one of your favorite things about me.
Huh? Oh, Let me think. Maybe I did say that. Anyway, I don't remember. I probably didn't. Still, you gotta face the harsh truth of the world for once, babe. It's easy to make yourself feel good with wishy-washy platitudes. But when reality comes knocking, we gotta face the music. If I started thinking like you, the size of my family would double overnight. And suddenly, I'd have a small army of people causing me problems on the reg. Anyway, where was I? Speaking of facing reality, we have something more important to discuss. Your dad's will. What's the situation?
This again.
We got talking about it earlier. I'm just carrying on where things left off. This is the natural flow of the conversation, sweet cheeks. Your dad's got a lot of money, right? It's only natural to get curious at a time like this. I'm at a bar with the boys right now, and I can barely sit still for thinking about it. If I was in his shoes, I'd make sure to get my money situation straight before I kick the bucket. You have a duty to do that when you're old and rich. It probably feels good to divide your money and property between your kids, knowing how much you'll be helping out your loved ones. I wonder how much I'll get. 30%? 50%? Hopefully more. You better not try and keep the old man's money all to yourself. Sharon's Karen.
None. Because you'll be the one paying.
Huh?
I'm more or less done with the procedures on my end. All I need is your signature.
Wait, what? What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, there's one more thing you should probably know. There's a strong chance this will lead to your holiday being canceled. It's a real shame you're gonna have to pull your nose out of the boss's backside, huh?
Hold up, woman. The heck you talking about? What happened to you all of a sudden? Where did the fragile, grief-stricken Donna from a few minutes ago disappear to? I don't have the fanciest idea what you're talking about. It actually got canceled. Word is that the whole company is heading home on the first flight tomorrow morning. What the hell did you do?
I didn't do anything. All I did was broadcast the SOS like you told me.
Huh?
You know, the relative who lives close by you mentioned earlier. He's one of the chief execs at your company.
What?
Didn't his surname give it away? My dad's side of the family have a pretty distinctive surname. I did think you'd have recognized it when you heard it sometime at work, what with him being a chief exec and all. You're even duller than I thought.
Huh? You're related to one of the chief executives at my work? This can't be real. Why didn't you tell me? You've never mentioned it before. He's your relative?
He's my dad's older brother. He's my uncle.
No, 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 no! This can't be happening! Why did you keep quiet this whole time?
My uncle especially asked me not to mention it. He said he wanted to see your true ability and how you operated on a day-to-day basis without the risk of you sucking up to him because of who he is. Plus, if he was seen to be overly familiar with family, his reputation as a serious, dignified businessman he's cultivated over the years would take a hit and people would stop taking him seriously.
No way!
But don't worry, thanks to your behavior today, he's finally seen you for what you are. A rotten, despicable excuse of a human being, as he puts it.
Huh?
Your shot at that promotion is well and truly dead in the water. The irony is, if you hadn't lost your mind over the prospect of getting your greedy mitts all over my dad's will, and instead shown such loyalty to your family that you were willing to go to the lengths of putting a super important work vacation on hold, you probably would have actually landed the promotion. Oh well.
Ah! I've had enough! You're an awful human being, Donna! There are probably demons in hell nicer than you! I don't care if I get fired anyway! In any case, I'm gonna be getting a hefty chunk of your dad's inheritance. I can live comfortably off that.
Listen, Ron, the thing is, you won't be getting a single cent.
Babe, you're just talking silly now. I know you're probably feeling desperate, but please, face reality. You're his eldest daughter, and I took your surname when we married, which basically makes me the equivalent of his eldest son. That makes me his family, which means I'm in line to receive a tidy sum.
What's that?
Can't you read English? It's what's known as a written acknowledgement of debt, or in layman's terms, an IOU. You wrote it 4 years ago.
Huh?
Did you forget about the time you tried setting up a business, but it failed, and you ended up getting into debt with some shady black market loan shark? Did you forget how my dad very kindly agreed to take over the repayments for you?
What the? But your dad said I didn't have to worry about paying that off anymore. He said he had it covered.
Seems like you only remembered the parts that suit you. There was one condition for him paying off your debt. Ring any bells? Anything at all? Or is your head still completely empty? If you really are a big enough dimwit to have forgotten such a vital piece of information, it's written at the bottom of the IOU. Go on, take a look. My dad did make it very clear to you, didn't he? All that I ask in return for paying off this debt is that you make my daughter happy. But he did say that if we ended up divorcing as a result of your actions, he'd cease all payments immediately, and you'd once again be responsible for paying it back in its entirety.
Donna, I'm on my way home now. Wait for me.
It's too late, Ron. I already spoke to my dad about the divorce. I already told him everything you said, about your disgusting attitude, about how you spoke about him like he's your personal ATM.
What? You didn't have to do that. Tell him it was all just a silly prank. Please. Let's just calm down here, okay?
I am calm.
I'm so sorry, babe. I wasn't there when you needed me most. You should have been in my arms. But I didn't act like the man I should have been. But babe, please, see my point of view. It wasn't an easy decision for me to make. I was stressing over it like you wouldn't believe.
You've been cracking jokes even though you were stressed out? Interesting.
Huh?
I just heard from my uncle. He said that you were cracking jokes like it was no one's business at the banquet at some posh hotel. He said you looked like you were having the time of your life. He asked your boss to keep an eye on you and report back to him how you were acting.
No, that's all wrong! Well, I mean, I might have made a joke, or several, but that's just my way of grieving, baby! My emotions are complex. I deal with stress in my own unique way! Donna, answer the phone! Please, let me explain! I want to apologize! I've been doing a lot of thinking about how I acted. Besides, I have no intention of divorcing you. I won't go along with it.
That's fine. I'll just take you to a family court. I've finally seen your true colors, and I want out. We're a mismatch at the cellular level.
I'm begging you. That's it. Here's how we fix this, babe. I need you to speak to your uncle and tell him that you're the one who persuaded me to stay on this work vacation. That I did really want to go and see your dad. But you were thinking of my future. You can do that, right? I'm gonna get fired if you don't do something.
I don't care. Anyways, by my calculations, you're still in about $25,000 of debt. Good luck on the repayments, babe.
There's no way I can pay that much.
That's okay. You can always borrow more from the black market loan shark.
How the hell am I supposed to pay back that much money when there's a strong chance I'm about to get fired? I'd struggle with that much even if I did keep my job.
You reap what you sow, Ron. Anyways, it's got nothing to do with me. You're on your own now. It's not like we're blood related, is it? It's just like you said. We're strangers after all. After that, the divorce proceedings went a lot smoother than I expected them to. Why, you ask? Well, my uncle, the chief exec at Ron's company, told him that he was not willing to pull the trigger on firing him this time if he promised to be a willing participant in the divorce. It was decided that his debt would be paid back on the basis of monthly repayments. The whole affair soon made its way into conversations at work. And before long, the entire company was talking about Ron and his questionable attitudes towards other people. Which means Ron's currently trapped inside the hornet's nest. I heard he's desperate to quit and get away from it all, but he can't afford to because of the exorbitant amount of money he owes. He's got no choice but to keep his head down and to continue working to keep up with the debt repayments. In a sense, this turned out to be the best punishment possible. I take my hat off to my uncle for the way he played the whole thing. In other news, a little while after all the drama had died down, my dad finally got discharged from the hospital. When he gets used to moving around again, we're thinking of going on holiday somewhere nice together. Just the two of us, of course.
Kevin, I'm very disappointed in you. You'll be paying me compensation for this. I'll never forgive you.
Huh? What are you talking about? Nancy? Hello? Where did this come from all of a sudden?
Don't Nancy me, you dirtbag. I know what you did. You disgust me. This is what all men are like deep down. Cheating is a man's instinct. It's in your blood. This act of yours isn't gonna work with me anymore.
Basically, you think I'm cheating on you? What gave you that idea?
I don't think it, and it's not an idea. I know it's true. So stop trying to gaslight me, because you are cheating on me. And what's worse, you're not even man enough to admit it.
I'm really not.
Why even bother playing dumb at this point? The jig's up, Kevin.
No, I'm really not. You must be making some kind of misunderstanding.
I have photo evidence. There's no way for you to worm your way out of this one.
Oh, really? Show me then, because you're 100% making a misunderstanding.
Nope, I won't be doing that. I'll be revealing them when I file my request for compensation from you. In the event that you're foolish enough to refuse to pay up, I'll have the perfect trump card up my sleeve.
You're absolutely adamant I cheated, and nothing I could possibly say will change your mind, huh?
I've had my suspicions for a while now. You've been coming home later and later recently.
Sorry about that. The boss keeps piling overtime on me.
Plus, you were humming happily to yourself all morning yesterday.
Is it a crime to hum now? Seriously, is this some kind of joke?
You're an expert liar, Kevin. I'll give you that. But then, pathological liars do tend to be good at what they do. That said, you do well not to underestimate a woman's instinct. When you betray someone like this, they don't just wake up the next morning and forget all about it.
Listen, Nancy, please, can you just calm down and listen to what I'm saying?
I am calm, and I have been this whole time. You're so patronizing.
Would you mind telling me why you think I'm cheating on you then? All you're doing is throwing accusations at me and not giving me a chance to defend myself.
Washington Union Station.
What about it?
You were there yesterday, right? At night? With a woman?
I was in the area. Me and some friends had been bar hopping, but there were no women. It was just me and the boys from work.
And there it is. The lies begin. Listen, Kevin, you see, there's one little problem with your story. I was there too, with my friend. I saw you and her as plain as day with my own eyes. You were linking arms while waiting for a taxi together.
Right. And did I get into the taxi with her?
Like hell if I know. I was so incensed that I couldn't stand to watch it anymore, so I just took some photos and went home.
Did I not go home immediately after that?
Damn it, Kevin, I told you I don't know. I stayed the night at my friend's place.
I see. I gotta say, I'm not impressed. You should have more substantial proof before you go making accusations this serious. I think you're gonna feel dumb as hell when you realize what was actually going on.
Huh? Going on the offensive, are we?
I'm hardly going on the offensive. I'm just saying you're wrong. If you actually bother to put some effort into gathering proof, instead of jumping to hasty conclusions, you'd soon realize how wrong you are.
Just give it up already, Kevin. You've been found out. I have photographic evidence. Caught red-handed.
The woman you saw me with, she was disabled.
There were some major delays with the trains last night, so she couldn't ride the subway as planned. She was in trouble, so I helped her. She had tons of luggage, so I helped her to the taxi waiting area.
Funny how meeting a beautiful woman suddenly turns you into the Good Samaritan, huh? You snake. Plus, if she was really disabled, wouldn't she be at home or have a carer? If she was hanging around in the station, she probably wanted guys to hit on her. Ugh, what a poisonous woman.
You should be more careful about what you say.
Look how quick he is to defend his fair maiden's honor. Ugh, she's got you wrapped around her little finger, I see.
Wrong. I didn't even get in the taxi with her. After helping get her luggage in the car, we went our separate ways. I got my own taxi home when she left.
Sure you did.
I have no idea why you don't believe me.
I don't want to hear your lies anymore, Kevin. Me and you are so over. Make sure you check your bank balance tomorrow so you can get ready to pay me the money you're gonna owe me soon.
Hey, Nancy!
What?
Not what? What the heck are you doing? Your dad and brother just barged their way into my house!
Oh, they did? I did say they didn't have to do that.
You told them I was cheating on you, didn't you? They also seem to think I'd been hitting you? I've never laid hands on you once in my life, and I would never! What the heck are you playing at?
You may not have hit me physically, but you did mentally. I told my dad and brother everything when I went home in tears yesterday. Seems like what you did upset them so much, they decided to take matters into their own hands. I can't pretend you didn't deserve it. You brought this on yourself. Did they mention anything about the compensation?
Why the hell would I have to pay you compensation? Not only have I done nothing wrong, but now you're sending family members over to break into my house and assault me?
Quit your whining, you sorry excuse of a man. Please, can you just calm down? Oh, by the way, I also told your company that you cheated on me. You'll probably be summoned into the boss's office sometime tomorrow. Things aren't looking great for you, Kevin. Things would be easier if you would just man up and admit what you did.
Sorry for the late reply. I was busy filing legal charges against you.
You were doing what?
I had the contact details of the woman you accused me of cheating on you with. She said she's willing to testify to clear my name.
And what grounds would you possibly have to take me to court? You're the one who cheated, you moron.
Breaking and entering.
Huh?
Assault. I already filed the police report. I went to the police station with my face still bruised and bloodied, so they were more than willing to deal with my claim quickly. Oh yeah, then there's defamation. That one will be a piece of cake to prove too, since you went spreading slanderous lies around my company.
Just hold on a sec. Are you seriously ignoring what you did in filing charges against me? You're human waste.
The only human waste here is you. And guess what? It's garbage day. You don't listen to or believe a word I say. You go to extreme measures to ruin my life based on an obvious misunderstanding.
I haven't misunderstood anything. You just admitted you and Lovergirl have each other's phone numbers, for crying out loud. If that's not evidence of your filthy misdeeds, I don't know what is. You really are a Class A idiot.
She gave me her business card before she got in the taxi. I paid her taxi fare since she had nothing on her except a prepaid train ticket she could no longer use.
That's the worst lie I've ever heard. Whatever, I don't care anymore. I wish you both the best of luck before the judge. Oh, how sweet and romantic. You can even hold hands in court. It's not like a cripple's gonna be able to afford a lawyer.
A cripple? Jesus Christ, Nancy! And do you really think she's paying the legal fees? There's no way I'd let her do that. She represents the national swimming team in the Paralympics.
Huh?
The only reason we're in contact is because he said she'd testify to help clear my name because of the vicious lies you're spreading. There's no way I could expect her to cover my legal fees.
What do you mean she's in the Paralympics?
I'm not that into sports myself, so I don't know much about it. But apparently she's an athlete who came all the way from Wisconsin for a tour with her team. She just told me. She's from Wisconsin originally, and lives there with her husband. So there's no way she'd have an affair.
Stop lying! Ugh. Your pathetic attempts at deception don't fool me anymore.
Something tells me this cripple has got a lot more money than you. I'm just glad she's being kind enough to testify for me, so I can fight and beat you in court with 100% certainty.
You're lying again, Kevin. No sooner do you breathe than you tell lies. You're trying to intimidate me into submission because you're terrified at the prospect of having to pay for what you did. I can read you like a book.
I'm done listening to you, Nancy. Give it a rest already. I don't care whether you believe me. I have no interest in engaging with someone with such a distrustful nature who treats baseless assumptions like they're gospel truth.
Why are you talking to me like that? Ugh, whatever. There's no going back now. I'll be making preparations for the legal battle on my end, too. I intend to fight you to the very end. Prepare to pay me compensation.
I've been meaning to ask you this for a while, but are you serious when you harp on about making me pay compensation?
Huh? Of course I'm serious. Why would you even ask me that?
Listen, here's the problem. The thing with compensation is, compensation in the event of affair is paid by the party responsible for the affair to the victim. And this part is key. It can only occur in the context of a legally recognized union. Do you understand that?
Huh? Are you making fun of me? I obviously understand that.
Me and you aren't married. We're not even engaged. How do you plan on making a compensation claim that doesn't meet the basic definition of what you're shooting for? You're not my wife. You didn't know, did you? I take it the fact that you've gone quiet means you're Googling legal definitions like your life depends on it.
Common law marriage? I'm eligible to claim for compensation for an affair in the case of common law marriage. We're living together. Surely that means we classify as common law marriage.
Living together? You mean you decided to move into my house without permission? Totally out of the blue 3 weeks ago. Do you really think common law marriage is gonna stand up in court despite the fact we've only been dating for 2 months?
Huh? What? Does this mean I can't sue you? I can't get compensation?
You don't have a hope in hell. One other piece of crucial information you seem to be forgetting is that I'm not actually cheating on you.
No way.
Anyway, even if you withdraw your claims now, I still fully intend on going ahead with waging legal war against you. You crossed the line when you had your brother and dad barge into my house and beat the crap out of me.
Wait! Please, Kevin. I think I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Will you forgive me? Oh, Kevin, I'm gonna head over to your place now, baby. I have to dress your wounds. You're hurt. Let me look after you, sweetie.
Don't bother. Do not come to my house.
Why are you being like this? I just want to make things up to you. I just want us to be how we used to be, baby.
There's no way we can go back after what you did. To be honest, I never want to see your face again. I will still have to see you again, though. Quite a few times, most likely. In court. It's a real shame.
Please, Kevin. I'm begging you. Listen, my head hasn't been in a good place lately, ever since I thought you were cheating on me. I haven't been sleeping or eating properly. I think I'm ill. I can barely even bring myself to leave the house anymore.
Yeah, quit your whining, you sorry excuse of a woman. You seemed healthy and full of energy a little while ago when you were making malicious accusations and calling me every name under the sun. What was it you called me? Human waste?
I just got caught up in the moment. I said that because I was hurting.
In any case, I don't want to be involved with the kind of girl who says stuff like that when she gets caught up in the moment. That's not to mention your awful views on disabled people.
Kevin, please. I'm begging you. Please, don't take me to court. I can't even stand right now. I feel so ill. I can't even walk. Please, Kevin. I'm suffering here.
You seem to be making another misunderstanding. So let me clear this one last thing up for you before I block you and we start communicating through our lawyers. You know that thing you said earlier about the disabled athlete I helped being a poisonous woman? I need you to be aware of something very important. The only poisonous woman here is you. A few days later, Nancy's family dragged her over to my place and all got on their knees and apologized to me in unison. On top of the false accusations of me hitting her, it turns out she told them another vicious lie. She told her family I'd been mocking them, saying that her dad and brother were cowards and, quote, wouldn't dare break into my house in a million years. Her parents and brother broke down in tears and apologized. A few days later, after some talks, I agreed to settle out of court, at least with her family. Sum of money was decided on, which I was then paid in full. I couldn't bring myself to take her family to court after realizing she tricked them too. Nancy was totally silent throughout, until her mom slapped her square in the face, at which point she broke down in tears and finally started talking. Apparently, she'd been pouring money into a secret gambling addiction and thought tricking me into paying compensation would be an easy way to get her out of the debt she'd built up. Everyone present was rendered speechless by the shocking revelation. This was obviously the first I'd heard of it too, but it turned out Nancy had an extreme gambling addiction. Her finances had already hit rock bottom a few months back. That's why she thought seeing me help that woman into the taxi was the perfect timing to deploy her devious scheme. I don't think I need to explain why, but after that, I told her parents. Nancy, on the other hand, won't be getting off so lightly. I made clear my intention to take her to court for defamation. False as they may be, rumors like that don't just disappear overnight, and damage was done. As bad as I did feel for her family, I told them they just have to deal with it somehow, and saw them out of my house. It was difficult for me to come to terms with the fact that I dated a girl like that, and made me question my own judgment. I sent a humble apology to Elena, the Paralympic swimmer I met at the station, for all the trouble she'd been caused throughout this ridiculous episode. But she was adamant I had nothing to apologize for, and said it was absolutely fine. I did try to insist, but she changed the subject and invited me to watch her perform at a local sports tournament, and offered to return the taxi fare I paid for her. A few days later, a Paralympic ticket showed up in my mailbox. I have no intention of accepting her money for the taxi fare, but this is going to be my first time ever at a major sporting event, and I'm really excited. Being easily moved, I can't discount the possibility that tears will be shed on that day. Elena's warmth and friendliness was the first thing to put a smile on my face since the whole Nancy incident.
Ahem, work-related communications coming through. Ruth, it's about the contract with A company. You know, the one you were responsible for managing? They pulled out and the contract got aborted.
It got what? Why would they do that?
Don't tell me you're surprised. It's obviously because you're incompetent. That was such an important contract to this company. I mean, really. Talk about the mother of all screw-ups. How do you plan on taking responsibility?
Kimberly, I'm really sorry, but I need to make this clear. I was in charge of that project and responsible for all communications between our company and that client. There hasn't even been so much as a hint of a problem until now. Why would they pull out all of a sudden?
Listen, Ruth. I've been holding back so as not to upset you. But shall I just come out with it?
Not to upset me? What is this, kindergarten? How can I understand the situation if you don't tell me? Anyway, something doesn't quite sit right with me. Why didn't they contact me about the cancellation of the contract? Why you, when you never had anything to do with that project to begin with?
Oh, I give up. You're just too dim-witted. That's why there's no hope for you at this company.
Excuse me?
If you don't even take the time to consider what a client might be thinking, or what kinds of things they might expect from us as a company, or what kind of alterations they might like to see made, how do you expect to get anywhere in this business? This is probably why you're suffering from that strange illness of yours.
Strange illness?
What was it again? Appendicitis?
Ulcerative colitis.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Listen, Ruth, when you become an adult and enter society, you have a responsibility to properly look after and manage your own health.
My illness has nothing to do with whether or not I'm looking after myself properly. It's genetic. Besides, don't change the subject.
What does my illness have to do with the cancellation of this contract? I'd appreciate if you kept your comments about my health to yourself, given it's got absolutely nothing to do with you. Because you're defective. What? The client said they had to abort the contract because they didn't feel comfortable doing business with someone who they felt could collapse at any moment. You have to admit, it's too risky from a client's perspective to be engaged in negotiations with someone so sickly and diseased. If that's true, why would their first move be to pull the plug on the project entirely instead of requesting a change of personnel? You're saying the contract itself got cancelled, aren't you? Why couldn't someone like, say you for example, have just stepped in as a pinch hitter to save the project and ensure all of this time and resources that went into it thus far weren't a total waste? Why would I know? Do I look like a mind reader? All I know is that the client said they can't do business with us anymore. Why are you clinging to them so desperately now they're gone? It was all your fault. Maybe if you made some effort not to be so sickly, they wouldn't have left us in the first place. If my illness genuinely was the reason they backed down, then I can only apologize. Unfortunately, this isn't the kind of problem that goes away with a mere apology. Why don't you take a long, hard think about the damage you've done to this company? And take responsibility accordingly? Yes, understood. Not understood. What are you going to do? I want detailed suggestions, proposals, a plan of action. How do you intend to make up for this? I'll work to the best of my ability to undo my failure and bring the client back. Wrong answer. What you really need to do is have more awareness of your status as sickly, dead weight at our company. And accordingly keep your mouth shut, keep your head down, and work silently in the background where you can't cause any further problems. If that's too hard for you, I think you'd make for an excellent coffee girl. I take milk and 2 sugars. If even that's too difficult, I suggest you start sleeping with the right people, because you're doomed to a future of failure and disappointment if you rely solely on your ability to actually do the job. You're an incompetent fool, and everyone knows it. Ah, you're leaving my messages on read. How mature. Sulking, are we? This is exactly what I'm talking about. The moment things become a little inconvenient for you, you bury your head in the sand, even going as far as ignoring your direct superior. You really are beyond help. If I'm honest, I'd rather you just resigned. Good morning, Kimberly. I'm in the middle of a job right now, so I can't talk on the phone. Can I help you with something? Wait, shouldn't you be in the office already? How dare you? Do not screw me around, Ruth. What lies have you been filling the boss's head with? What do you mean? Lies? Don't play dumb. I know exactly what you did. When I pulled into the car park and tried entering the staff door like usual, the company president was stood there blocking my way. He told me never to show my face at work again. No, he didn't just tell me, he yelled until he had goddamn steam coming out of his ears. Oh wow, that sounds rough. I did hear the boss can be a bit passionate at times. That's probably the reason he was able to build such a successful company, though. I don't give a damn about that. All I can think of is that you went up and said something to him. Why else would he fire me? What did you do? Tell me. I didn't do anything at all. All I did was head out this morning to apologize for losing the contract you told me about. What? Think about it. If a project collapses and it's your fault, don't you think offering a sincere apology and requesting the decision be reconsidered after promising to do better is the right and reasonable thing to do? That wasn't just my project after all. People from various departments were involved, and lots of hopes and dreams were pinned on it. Huh? You went to see the client directly? That's right. I swallowed my pride, got down on my knees, and apologized. Their project manager rushed out immediately when he saw what was going on, and explained the situation to me in minute detail. Everything, Ruth. I know. You tried stealing that contract from me, didn't you? You lurked in wait for Mr. Grant, the project manager, in the office car park and waited until he finished his meeting. Then, when he got out, you basically forced him to go to dinner with you. You did nothing but badmouth me at the restaurant. Then, when you thought you'd trashed his opinion of me, you started trying to convince him of what a talented and reliable employee you are, Mo. Have you no shame? Then, to top it all off, you invited him to stay the night at a hotel with you. He described his feelings at the time of a complex mixture of shock, disgust, and terror. Being so desperate to go home at that point that he'd do anything to get away from you, but at the same time wanting to avoid handing you the project at all costs. He did the only thing he could think of and proposed aborting the contract entirely. Here's the key point though, he didn't actually want to. But you, feeling you had the ammunition you needed, launched your full frontal assault on me and came up with whatever lies it took to have me held responsible. Even putting it mildly, you're a disgrace. Don't worry though, I already told the section manager everything. Based on what you just told me, it seems like word of what you did made its way into conversation with the president. Why, you little... You really shouldn't have done that. Mark my words, you won't get away with this. I'll make you regret it if it's the last thing I do. Prepare yourself, Ruth. There is a storm coming.
Do what you like. Just make sure you don't do anything to cause any further trouble for the company. You might have been fired, but this company's done a lot for you, so I hope you've at least got the decency to spare them the nuance of your little revenge campaign.
Ruth, long time no see. Is now a good time? I have some news for you.
What?
You're gonna love this. Wait for it. I got married.
Oh, that's nice. Congrats.
I'm the happiest I've ever been. Listen, Ruth, I've been doing some thinking and I feel so guilty about the trouble I've caused you. I just wanted to take this opportunity to apologize.
Oh, if it's about the contract, don't worry. I'm already over it.
No, not that. Something else. I stole your fiancé.
My fiancé? Who do you mean when you say my fiancé? I'm not engaged to anyone. I've been happily married for a long time.
WTF? Wait a sec. This can't be. You're joking, aren't you? Or you're lying because you're so angry. Yes, that must be it, lol.
It's not a joke and it's not a lie. I'm married, which means I have a husband. Which means I'm not engaged, which means I don't have a fiancé for you to steal.
Aha, that's it. I bet you've already had word from him about the engagement being broken off, haven't you? I bet you're sat reminiscing over old photos and crying your eyes out as we speak. Look, I get it. I'm probably the last person you want to admit your heartbreak to. You won't be the only one crying at this rate. You're so pathetic, I think I almost feel sorry for you, lol.
You must be making some kind of misunderstanding.
I'm not misunderstanding anything. I know he's your fiancé. He approached me while I was crying on my own at the car park. On the day the president fired me outside the office, he really is a wonderful man. He could see I was upset and asked me if I needed someone to talk to.
That's all well and good, but I don't see how you go from that being dead certain this randomer from the car park is my fiancé.
He told me, of course. He said he came to the office to drop something off his fiancé left at home. But he said he just couldn't bear to see such a pretty girl crying and not say anything. I figured out he was your fiancé. Well, we were chatting over a coffee in a local cafe. I'm sorry to say this, but he said he found me much more attractive than you, and that I gave him butterflies in his stomach of the kind he hadn't felt since he was a teenager. Things between us began moving really fast after that. We went to bed together that night, and before we knew it, we were discussing marriage. It was then I knew I'd found my soulmate.
He sounds like a scammer.
Huh?
Yep, a marriage scammer.
What? Don't be so ridiculous. A marriage scammer, what even is that? Make some sense, woman. We are soulmates. Are you jealous? Is that it?
Kimberly, it seems like your desire to take revenge on me is clouding your better judgment and impairing your ability to think rationally. That's the most obvious marriage scam I've ever heard of. Did he ask you for money at any point while he wasn't whispering sweet nothings in your ear? Let me guess. Something like an advance payment on the wedding costs, which he empathetically promised he'd give you back later?
Huh? How did you know? Yes, he did. But that's hardly unusual. Things are moving really fast between us, so he probably didn't have the funds to get the ball rolling at a moment's notice. This is just how whirlwind romances are.
Oh, no. You'll never see that money again. I'm pretty familiar with this scam because I had a friend who very nearly fell for the same one a while back. Luckily, she realized what was going on and backed out at the last minute. You, however, such a shame.
I'm actually embarrassed for you, Ruth. The lengths you'll go to hide your heartbreak over having your fiancé stolen are bordering on tragic. Please salvage what remains of your dignity by gracefully admitting defeat. Yes, that's right. You lost and I won.
I can repeat myself if you like. I'm already married. My husband's abroad on business right now. But I can send you some pictures of us if you like.
Oh, please, stop it, Ruth. You can't seriously expect me to believe someone like you could bag yourself a husband. What man in his right mind would have an interest in a sickly little creature like you?
We were classmates in high school. We were friends since long before I fell ill. He confessed his love to me after I got my diagnosis. He said the illness was irrelevant to him, and he wanted to be with me because he loved me.
Wait a sec. What? So this guy I'm engaged to really isn't your fiancé?
Yay, you finally got it! This is kinda what I've been trying to tell you this whole time.
I just tried to call him. He won't pick up. What should I do? Help!
Not my problem.
What? You mean you're not going to help me? This is all your fault. The least you could do is give me some advice. Take responsibility for what you have done.
What? This is my fault? So let me get this straight. First, you tried to steal my contract back when you still had a job and failed miserably. Then, you tried to steal my fiancé, assumed, and failed miserably once again. Is that a fair summary? To top it all off, suddenly I'm the one who's responsible somehow? Really gets the neurons firing. Would you mind explaining which part exactly is my fault? I'm drawing blanks here.
Don't twist the facts. I want my money back. $40,000 directly into my bank account now.
Nope. $40K though. Wow, he took you to the gleaners. It's time you learned how to take responsibility for your own actions, Kimberly.
Fine, you win. I'll apologize for what I did. I'm sorry for everything. The contract, trying to steal your fiancé, everything. Can I just have my money back? Please? Not only did he take my entire bank balance, I don't even have a job anymore. How am I supposed to live?
Go back and live with your parents then? Or you could, I don't know, find a new job? In any case, I have zero obligation to help you.
Please stop talking like that. We used to be coworkers. Ruth, I'm begging you. Ruth!
We used to be coworkers? That's literally the least compelling plea for help I've ever heard. Anyway, I'm sure you'll figure out a way to fix this on your own. After all, you were always super talented at getting yourself out of difficult situations, weren't you? By sleeping with the right people?
After that, Kimberly started showing up outside the company office every day, lurking behind cars until I clocked off, at which point she would jump out yelling expletives and harass me relentlessly. However, she was eventually spotted by our notoriously passionate and at times hot-headed company president. He reported her to the police, who came down immediately and bundled her into the back of a car. Apparently, her spirit was so crushed when hit with the reality of what her life had become, she broke down in tears in the police car and was inconsolable by the time she reached the station. Eventually, she somehow or other managed to pull herself together and went home with a caution, promising never to go near me ever again. However, sources tell me she's still vigilantly watching and waiting, biding her time until another opportunity to take her revenge on me presents itself. Rumor has it she's applying for jobs with every one of our competitor companies and hopes to somehow leverage that as her angle to teach me the lesson she's convinced I deserve. The irony is, if she'd just reflect on her own actions for a moment, she could learn the lesson she needs to learn. Let go of her hatred and move on with her life. Will she? I'm not holding my breath. Anyway, in more important news, I found out I was pregnant last month. I left the company when I got the news and decided to move abroad to be a stay-at-home housewife for my husband, so the whole thing with Kimberly is as good as ancient history to me now. I'm just praying I'm not unfortunate to bump into her in the street before my flight.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Hey there, Cammy. Are you back home from the funeral already?
Hello there, Aaron. I noticed that you weren't at my husband's funeral despite the fact that you're his mother.
Yes, I really wanted to be there, but I just had so many things going on.
You were too busy to attend your own son's funeral is what you're telling me. Didn't you want to have your last goodbye with him before he was cremated?
Well, I would have liked to, but I feel like there really wouldn't have been a point. I mean, you know that Tom hadn't been talking for some years before he passed away.
But it isn't like you two had a fight and decided not to talk to each other ever again or anything like that, right?
Actually, I suppose you could say something similar happened between us, actually. Tom borrowed money from me and then just moved out to live on his own. Not to mention that he hardly ever called home. He basically abandoned his family and wasn't a good son during his life. So I didn't really see why I should interrupt my busy schedule just to attend the funeral for a person like that.
Well then, why are you even messaging me like this in the first place?
Well, now I'm not so busy, so I think I have the time to head over and see where you're keeping him.
Oh, I see. Well, if you wanted to come and pay your respects, I think that'd be really nice, actually. In fact, I think he would really like it if you did.
Oh, yes, that's right. I'll be coming over to pay my respects. In fact, I'm going to be paying my respects to him every single day.
You're going to visit him every day? Sorry, I'm a little confused. Are we talking about the same things right now?
Well, I mean that as of tomorrow, I am going to be living in your house. So get a room ready for me. Thanks.
Sorry, I still don't understand. You want to live with me? Did you mean to say that you were going to be living near me or something? I don't get what you mean by that.
I meant exactly what I said. I'm going to be moving into your house, and you and I are going to be living there together.
So you're really going to move here? But who are all you bringing with you?
Oh, not many people, just me, my husband, and our daughter. That is to say, your sister-in-law.
Hold on just a second. Why are you doing all this? I don't understand.
Well, the house that you're living in right now belonged to Tom, didn't it? So, as his closest blood relatives, we should have a right to live in that house too. There are plenty of mixed-generation houses who a couple takes in one set of parents to live with.
I heard of that happening, but you have a house. Why do you need to move into mine? I mean, why would you put yourself through all this just to share a living space with me?
Well, we actually don't have another house since we sold our old place.
You're not serious, are you? You sold your family home?
You do know that it was my grandfather who built that house, don't you? And that explains why it's rotting and falling apart now.
It's not fit for a family to live in. There's leaking when it rains, and the foundations of the house are starting to rot, which is making the house start to slant. Normally, a house like that would never even sell on the market, but we had a family friend willing to buy it for a discounted price. The timing couldn't have been better, though.
So then you really sold your house when you could have just hired someone to repair it.
Repair it? In the state it was in, it would have been cheaper to just buy a new house. We had repair costs for everything wrong with our house quoted at around $200,000. So we just thought that it would be easier to sell it and move into a new place. That is to say, your place. That way it wouldn't cost us anything.
I suppose you have a point there, but even so, this is all happening a bit too suddenly for me.
Well, I am so sorry about that. We just decided to move in with you the other day, you see.
I understand that, but you didn't talk to me about this once before now.
Well, that's because we decided as a family. So anyways, we're going to be arriving tomorrow in the evening, okay? So the least you could do is clean up around the house a little and try to make it look presentable.
Can we just slow down for 1 second? I mean, there's a way to change your mind about this at all.
That's right. We've made our decision and we don't intend on changing it. Besides, you are just Tom's wife. You don't have an actual right to tell us what we can and can't do now that he's gone.
But I'm going to be away at work around the time that you're going to be coming over. I work in the evening.
Well, then just leave a spare key for the house in the mailbox or something, jeez. We've already packed up our things and have been stacking boxes getting ready to load into moving vans. See you soon, Cammy.
Aaron, my house is a complete disaster. What did you do to it?
Oh, what do you mean? We're in the unpacking stage right now. Of course things are going to be a little messy.
This isn't what I'm talking about. Please do not just move my furniture and rearrange my rooms without asking me first, okay? And why were my clothes thrown all over the hallway? What is the meaning of that?
We didn't have any other choice. We needed to make room for the rest of our stuff and your things were in the way. It's that simple.
If they were in the way, then the least you could have done would be to gently move them out of the way and then put them back once you're done. You even moved Tom's urn from over the fireplace. Do you really not see anything wrong with this at all?
Oh, please, I just moved it off the ledge where I could have fallen. I'm sure my son's spirit will forgive me for doing so.
And where are the three of you right now? Did you all step out even though the house is a total disaster now?
Well, we were getting tired of all the moving and rearranging, so we went out to eat. We looked up a really good Chinese spot here in town. I think we might be regular here. It's so tasty.
I am so happy you're already setting in well into the neighborhood.
So, anyways, while we're all out eating, would you mind tidying up just a little? I mean, the least you could do is make sure that we have a space to sleep tonight when we get back.
Excuse me? You want me to clean up this mess by myself?
Well, yes. I mean, you're my daughter-in-law, that's your job. It's all thanks to the efforts of my late son that you're even able to live in a house like this. So the least you can do is take care of his family now that he's gone.
But I just got home from work and I'm exhausted.
Oh, you think you're exhausted? We've been moving things all day. If you're looking for pity from us, you've come to the wrong people. Honestly, you really have no idea just how spoiled you are. All you ever do is complain about every little thing.
Aaron, please, I do not mind helping you clean up all this, but I just can't do it by myself. Can you all please finish your meals and come back? I would like some help moving the furniture back as well.
You mean you can't even handle doing that on your own? I wouldn't mind so much about how spoiled you are if you would at least do some work around here. You're still young, so quit complaining.
But I'm complaining about what you all did to my house. Don't you get that? And you were talking about needing to make room for all of us, but this place isn't built to house 4 people. I mean, the place only has 3 rooms.
You're right about that. 4 people is a little bit cramped. I know. How about you move out, and then there should be room for all of us?
You're asking me to move out of my own house?
Why do you keep calling it your house? We all know that Tom was the real owner. And as his closest family, That means that what's his is ours. You have no say in any of this at all. And we are well within our rights to throw you out of the house if we so choose.
What are you talking about? I'm the owner of the house.
Why aren't you out of the house yet? I thought I told you to leave us alone already. My daughter wants her own room and won't quit bugging me about it. All of our problems would be over already if you would just finally leave us in peace. Please, just get out.
So you really are going to try and take my own house away from me then?
Oh, please don't be so dramatic. It isn't nearly that bad. I already told you that we have the right to evict you since this house used to belong to my son. You don't have any room to argue.
And you really want the house so badly that you're willing to do something like this to get it?
It isn't about what we want. It's the fact that we have a legal claim to this house since it belonged to Tom. Now, you're going to leave peacefully and let us get on with our lives or else.
Okay then, if that's really how you feel about it, I guess I'll leave. I was actually thinking about moving away from here anyways.
Oh, really? Well, in that case, get lost and go moving there. We're going to be living in this house from now on, and we don't need you getting in our way all the time.
I already said that I was going to leave. I'll be out of your hair before the day is done. Although I should warn you that Tom didn't leave anything behind. There was no inheritance of his to claim.
Oh, what are you talking about? Of course he had things. He had things like this house.
No, I'm afraid that after all is said and done, when he died with nothing.
I seriously have no idea what you're saying. This doesn't make sense.
Then listen very closely, because I do not want to have to repeat myself. Tom died owning nothing. Do you get it? All his life, he was a horrible man who did nothing but cause trouble for others.
Wait a second, where's this coming from all of a sudden? What is this about, huh?
I mean that my husband, your son, was a horrible man. He used me, took my money, gambled it all away, and ended up in $200,000 of debt.
Hold on a second. Are you telling me when Tom died he was $200,000 in debt? Surely you must mean 20,000 or something like that, right?
I know what I typed, and as soon as he died, banks and debt collectors began reaching out to me looking for their money. When I got the first of these types of letters in the mail, I nearly fainted when I found out just how much in the red Tom was.
But I don't believe it. I mean, $200,000? That's way too much.
Well, believe it or not, it is the facts. I even have the documents to prove all of what I'm telling you is correct.
Why would my son do something so stupid like that? I mean, didn't he know anything about how to use money responsibly?
Well, that is one thing that we can agree on. Your husband is indeed an idiot. Not only that, he was a lazy, no-good, horrible person who buried himself in debt before dying. And now that he's gone, it's his family that is left to clean up his mess.
I see. I had no idea about any of this. But as his wife, you would be the one responsible for all of the debt now. I mean, you said the collectors were trying to get in contact with you, right?
Are you sure that I'm responsible for that? You see, the other day, I submitted my own nullification to inherit anything from Tom.
So you remove yourself from his will entirely?
That's right. So in other words, I'm not carrying any of his dead weight around with me. And while that means that I get nothing from the will, it also means that I don't inherit any of the debt.
But then, who is going to end up taking all of that?
Well, I believe he did specify the three of you as his heirs as well, right? You can get the house, but it also means that you're going to take on the debt.
Well, we want the house, but not all that debt. Can't we just get the house and call it even?
I'm afraid that is not how it works. If you want to inherit the house, you have to inherit the debt.
Oh, but we're talking about $200,000 here.
That's right. Well, actually, to be accurate, I think it's actually more like $2,100, $6,000, and $500.
But that's even more than $200,000.
Sorry, I was doing a little bit of rounding before.
There is no way that we're able to afford something like that.
Oh, come on. I'm sure that this is the three of you combine your efforts that you could pay that off in no time. I mean, you are three capable adults. Surely you can handle that, right? Besides, this is something that you can remember your son through. I know you can pay it off if you try.
But we're still all looking for new jobs right now.
What happened to your old jobs that you all had were working before?
We had to quit those so that we could move all the way out here. Besides, it wasn't exactly as if all three of us had what you would call careers anyways. So there's just no way that we're going to be able to pay back an amount like that.
I see. But what about the money that you got from selling your old house? Surely that must still be around, right?
No, we had to use all of that money to pay for the moving expenses to get to your house.
Wow, it must not have been all that much money then. But I guess you did say that you had to sell your house for cheap.
I don't need to hear that kind of thing from you. Why didn't you ever mention any of this before to us?
I just told you right now. What are you talking about? This wouldn't have even been a problem for you all if you hadn't just decided amongst yourself to move here. When I realized the types of people I was going to be dealing with, I knew it was going to be more simple to just remove myself from the process entirely. The bottom line is that the debt comes with this house and there's no escaping it.
The story has to be a little bit more complicated than that. I mean, if we lose this house, where are we going to live? We don't even have enough money to put yourself in a hotel for very long, and another house is totally out of the question.
Yeah. Well, you might want to take the camping things out of the garage and find a nice bridge to set up shop under. Although I think he hasn't touched the tent since it got torn up in a hailstorm. But a house is a house, right?
How can you talk to us so casually about this? Aren't we all family here? Besides, it's the middle of winter.
Yeah, I know. Feel free to take some of the winter clothes we have in the closet too. You'll need them.
Of course we're going to need them. We'll freeze to death without them.
Hold on a second. Don't you have a car? Why not just bring a bunch of blankets in there and sleep that way?
You mean that cramped little sports car? How are 3 fully grown adults supposed to be able to sleep in that? We'll all have to curl up in little balls. That sounds miserable.
I see. Well, at least you have the car. Why not sell it and try to move back into your old house? Sure, it's falling apart and slanted, but it's better than nothing.
We can't. The person that we sold it to said they were going to tear it down. There won't be anywhere for us to go back to. Even if we tried squatting there before the demolition team showed up, we could get in even more financial trouble if we get caught.
Take on $200,000 in debt or live with 2 other people in a tiny car? That's like one of those icebreaker questions asked at a party or something.
This isn't a joke. It's our lives that we're talking about.
Well, either way, you're going to have to make the choice. You're going to have to make a choice. I imagine that you're going to choose not to take on the debt, though. Either way, you have to choose quickly.
How could our son do this to us? That stupid boy. What was he thinking?
Aaron, that's the sanest thing you've said all day.
Cammy, are you there? I have a little favor to ask of you. Is there any way that I could get you to help us out just a little?
Well, it's been a while since I've last heard from you. How have things been going?
Please, we desperately need money. We can't keep going on like this.
Oh my. Well, where are you all right now, and what are you all doing?
We're still living in the house. This damned house our stupid son left us.
So then you chose to take on all that debt?
We didn't have any other choice. We wanted to leave it first, but we couldn't.
Huh? Well, what is that? What brought you back to live there?
After the first week of trying to live and sleep in that car, we were all so sore and uncomfortable. My husband can barely even move now.
Oh my, I suppose spending that much time in such a cramped space really can't be good when your joints are that old. It's like you're living in an airline seat or something.
Well, anyways, that's why we had to go back to the house. We just couldn't stand to live like that anymore.
And it sounds like the choice has been made for you.
We even tried to camp outside a little, but it was so freezing cold we couldn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, we are in the dead of winter over here. I don't blame you for that.
It was either take on the debt or destroy our bodies. We thought about selling the house and putting it towards paying off the debt as well, but we would have to wait until the weather improved before we could even do that.
Sounds to me like you all are trapped there for a while then. Oh, and there was one thing that I forgot to tell you about the house. I'm actually not sure if you'll be able to sell it, actually.
What are you talking about? Why wouldn't we be able to sell the house?
Well, you probably noticed the mountain face that is basically right behind the house, right? We are just always suffering from landslides coming down the mountain from rainy season or construction. Basically, that house just doesn't have very stable foundations and is constantly at risk of a natural disaster.
You mean that mountain that I'm looking at right outside my window could come down on us at any time?
Well, probably not in winter, unless it snows a whole bunch. I just wish you the best of luck in finding a buyer. Either way, you'll probably only be able to get way less than whatever you thought you originally could. Sell the house if you want. I'm just not sure how much good it will do you, really.
This can't be happening. Why didn't you say anything earlier? We had no idea about any of this. You should have told us.
I really don't think that you would have listened to any word that I said, even if I did say anything.
Maybe so, but you could have at least tried to tell us. You didn't even say anything.
Why would I put that kind of effort into warning the people trying to kick me out of my own house?
Please, you have to do something to help us.
I will not. And I hope that living in that house reminds you every day that you got yourself into this mess. You may think that your son is an idiot for doing what he did, and I would even agree with you. But I also strongly believe that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. In the end, Erin and her family stayed in the house and took on the $200,000 of debt. That spring, however, the melting of all the snow on the mountain caused a huge flood that heavily damaged the house. Since they all lacked the money to pay for any kind of insurance, they had to leave their flooded home with nothing in hand. Now, they all live in a tiny apartment, doing their best working multiple jobs. As for me, I returned home to live with my parents for a while. While there, I met up with an old crush of mine and soon we were dating. He's very nice and kind and nothing like Tom was. All I want to do now is forget all about him and start my life over again.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.